right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe with Liquid Beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. It's not static, AM radio. It's the cool and red hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody's tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macramalla intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log you with some sirloin bites.
.05, you're tuned into the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, streaming as always on the iHeart, TuneIn Radio apps, and on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube this morning, hit the thumbs up, pound the like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and it'll keep you up to date, everything EST-wise. We are coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev, and back on the desk, Will Fraser. It's good to see you again.
It's really nice to see you. It's good to be back.
I akin the show to like kind of a prog rock band yesterday with people moving in and out and kind of different sound. It's all over the place. Wow. It's like a jazz derivative, yeah. So I don't know what we're going to do today. I mean, it's a little different than Maddie being here, but it's good to have you back. But you're back for the remainder of the week. Yeah. And Monday?
Yeah, well, listen, it's a pleasure to be on the Lieutenant Eric show.
Still, we'll have to talk to William Huff.
We will have to get a new rap.
The Lieutenant Eric Extravaganza featuring YouTube Trev, Will Fraser, Matthew Iwanek, Joaquin Gage, so on. So. Jay Milne's been on here. I mean, we can have them all.
The B Sharps. Everyone will be there. Yeah.
What say you? By the way, Gage looking great on the broadcast last night as well. The in between.
How could he not?
In between Stoff and Gene. That's great. Great threesome. I'd say.
Sure.
For the broadcast.
Yeah. I'd spend time with those guys.
Yeah. Lots of time.
I'd road trip.
Yeah. Road trip. Yes. Do lots of things on the road trip.
Three across in a pickup truck.
Sure. Yeah. You would sit in the middle if there was only two of you in the pickup truck,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Don't worry. I got the shifts. You handle the clutch. I'll handle the gears.
The Nielsen Show presented by Southport Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. If you're looking for a truck to sit in the middle with and shift the gears with somebody and leave the passenger seat awkwardly available, go see Southport Chevrolet today in Fort Saskatchewan or www.southportchev.com. $1,000 credit on your trade-in vehicle if you tell them EST sent you. 780-218-9999 as well. The Paris Jewelers inbox. That's filling up here as we speak. Of course, the Oilers last night in action. Lots to get to around the NHL, both on and off the ice. A bit of a deal last night as well. And the Emirates NBA Cup.
Wow.
Group stage opening last night.
Couldn't take my eyes off.
Clay Thompson's return to San Fran.
That was interesting.
They all had those sailors caps that they were giving away.
Splash Brothers, no more.
No, dried up. So we'll get to that. But mostly Oilers will be dominating the show today. Once again, get your thoughts in for the win over Ilya Sorokin and the New York Islanders. It wasn't easy, but I mean, they never are in pro hockey, right? Connor McDavid heating up. It seems like that injury seemed to have been kind of the elixir that this team needed to give them a bit of a jumpstart jolt, eh?
It seems like a little time up in the booth, watching from a higher vantage point, opened some things up to him.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think it just looks like second effort. I mean, but
focus maybe a bit more.
Sometimes that's what you need to realize. I think our second effort isn't very good right now. And their second effort's better. You saw it on, I think, most of the goals last night, that it was about maintaining the puck and getting the puck back and maintaining pressure in the offensive zone. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about the trip that never was, too, that the Islanders bench was a little irate over, but digging in a nice backhand there as well. No, but that's
puck first, man.
To your second effort point, and that's where it is. And Leon Draisaitl, obviously, a lot was asked of him in that brief absence, but he's also come to play now. I think second in league goals, if not eclipsing the first. Who is it? Cole Caulfield leading in goals, but
I think they're tied now.
Yeah. Well, the Oilers are back. They never left. Maybe. Hey, is that Predators tomorrow here in Edmonton? Pred's still predatoring this season. So we'll see. But another good goaltender as well coming into Rogers Place. So we'll
except against the Oilers.
Except against the Oilers. Correct.
His career numbers against the Oilers are very bad. Sorokin was fantastic last night. My goodness.
Well, it was one of a sleepy Tuesday night, a team that can't score, but that would have been the...
You don't have a Connor McDavid and a Leon Draisaitl in your lineup, you don't win that game. Everyone's talking about Ilya Sorokin being the best player on the ice. And outside of those other two guys, he was the best player on the ice, but not better than McDavid or Draisaitl. So
the decision as well to leave Ryan Pollock on the ice for the entire overtime didn't see. I've never seen a player that gassed and that tired on an NHL ice surface. What was the strategy there? Yeah,
either that or he missed the signal from the bench, or
something was going on because he was not feeling it.
Yeah, that's a bad video day.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like when they review video today, that it'll be a real. Actually, it's a good one in that they'll have a real easy answer to why did we lose that game.
You got your point. You take your point, you move on. I mean, you fought back and nail and tooth.
That's what Patrick Waugh basically said.
Exactly.
After the game.
Yeah. But I mean, you take the Oilers to overtime as well, and you're usually not walking out of that puppy alive, I guess, with the firepower and the offensive skill they have.
Pretty tough.
Yeah.
And I mean, that goal was set up by Hyman and Bouchard and Ekholm. Basically,
they gassed him, and then they gassed the line, and then it
was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins,
send in the artillery
Hyman,
again.
Basically, just harassed, exhausted the Islanders, and then set up a soft opponent for the easy goal.
It's quite the recipe. We'll get to that game, though, more so in a few moments. Morning announcements for 100.3 The Bear. Edmonton's best rock. Yukon and McCord in the mornings. Jess Jackson in the afternoons. Just going over the slate last night. Senators shutting out the Leafs 3-0. Our first guest of the day, Jamie McLennan, was on the broadcast for that one alongside Kenzie Lalonde, which was a nice duo there. She was making her debut in the booth. Senators shutting out the Leafs 3-0. Jets 6-3 winners at MSG. They will not be stopped.
No.
At least in the regular season.
Yeah.
Maybe in the postseason
You'll
now.
get good odds.
Exactly. Devils 4-1 over the Panthers. Canucks edging out the Flames 3-1. You mentioned Dylan Holloway with another point. That Vegas nerve looks like it's healed. Hey, Blues drop 3-2 to the Blues. Kraken over the Blue Jackets 5-2. Columbus have lost 6 in a row.
Yeah. Dylan Holloway is still putting up his points. Good for him. I'm not going to cheer against him. I like him.
No, should you?
But I will cheer against his team, and so it's nice to see that the St. Louis Blues, the magic fairy dust has worn off. They are 5-7-2 now, something like that.
They had their time.
Yeah.
American Thanksgiving approaches. Hey?
Yep.
Yeah, the death knell.
Yeah.
But the big story tonight, YouTube Trev. He plays the. It's not the sport ball. It's the Edmonton Social Sport ESSC.
Yes.
Did they leave you in the lineup this time?
Oh, I was in.
And it's his retirement season, and it was floor hockey last night.
Oh, wow. No,
and he was amped. He was amped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was amped. Did pretty good. We lost. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, a Dylan Holloway night for you then.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I won't dive into this too much.
Everything's fine for me, but
yeah, like I was pretty happy with how I played, but the team, like I was the only one that has a little bit of hockey experience on the team, and it showed. We lost 15-12, and it wasn't good. I'm not gonna lie, but how I was gunning for a hat trick.
Well, point production. You in your last game, what you have? I
had
4 goals,
six goals and 2 assists.
Yeah. So did you?
I got 9 goals last night. So I was pretty
Can't bench
happy,
that.
and then we lost. So that's all there is. It was annoying. That was the first place team. So now we play for like just whatever. We're done essentially.
Oh, so
which
it
is
wasn't the
annoying.
team of people that don't know what hockey.
No,
this was
if I played like that last night against them, I
guys
would have
would
run
have
them
been
out
in
of town.
20s.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all she wrote. It sucked. We lost, and it was tough. No one on my team could do anything. Yeah, I love the guys. I love the team, but they are not the best floor hockey players.
Where do we go from here, though? Like, what's the next?
Yeah,
Is this
Is it
playoffs,
a
correct?
rebuild after this?
yeah. So we got 2 more games, but they're all for nothing. It's essentially just play out the games because we lost.
Have you asked for a trade?
We told
I
him
have
to after he
not.
got benched. He
I
should have
have not.
handed in his request.
I should have. Yes, this is correct. But we are looking at doing soccer next season, indoor soccer for a whole season, which I'm okay with doing that.
There's
because-
soccer rules.
Yeah.
You can play it off the board.
I love it. It's like, it's kind of like hockey, but I like you can use the boards. The boards are very efficient. So that's what I'll be doing.
Be the
I'll be
one
taking,
person who plays futsal.
I'll be taking my talents on the turf, and so looking forward to that. But it was all for nothing. We lost. It sucked, and I'm still butthurt about
Wow, you're a good time.
it. Yeah.
For that.
He
It sucked.
he came in here flying yesterday,
Oilers
and again,
come in off of a win.
Well,
Everything's sounding good. And
I
this
said it
guy
was the main thing.
What a turd sandwich.
I'm sorry. Like it just, it was just annoying.
You should be
But I'll
proud of your
in a better-
accomplishments, though. Individually speaking, I mean, I
Yeah.
would take this and canvas it around and see who else.
You're the Pavel Bure
I
of
heard.
this league.
Yes, that was good. I heard the other team say.
There were
like during
whispers,
the,
eh?
yeah, they were just like I heard they just have that one guy, and then so I was like, I'm pretty sure they're talking about me right now. So that felt good, but that's the way she goes. You win some, you lose some, and we lost. We're going for. I won the last 2 championships. Will our team, and we're going for 3.
I guess it won't happen.
No.
Not a true dynasty.
No,
That's
exactly. But that's now you're up to date, Nasty. So that's what happened. I'm sorry.
Well, we continue on, and when's the next? When are you playing up the string next? What's the next?
Don't know yet. It's next Tuesday.
Next
but
Tuesday.
it'll be maybe volleyball. I don't know. Dodgeball maybe. Ugh. But I'm done. I might not even show up.
Crokinole.
Wow. Oh, give me that.
Yeah.
Any day of the week. Actually, we should bring in a board in here.
Yeah. Just have
Why don't we have a board in here?
just have a game on the go at all times.
God. One of those curling boards, too, I got from Canadian. You know, with the little marble underneath.
That's
Oh,
a good
boy,
one.
you can really get some. I need proof of life for Dustin. Yeah, I Nacho Man. Very good. He did text
All of
yesterday.
us do.
Well, we all, yeah. I mean,
Well,
he's.
someone texted.
Where is it here? Sorry again for being out so long. Missed the office. We also got, I don't know if this is for public, x-rays on his chest and sinuses. Didn't even know that was a thing, he said. You'd love that.
Yeah.
I love telling these things to
that
you of all
tracks
people.
so
This is going to make you sick.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully they're figuring out what's up. Look,
here comes the PTSD.
he's going to be okay. He was coughing. No, but the thing is, the coughing's preventing him from sleeping. And so I get it's one of those things you lay down and you start. So you got to like kind of sit up in your easy chair, right? And like fall asleep like an old man. That's kind of the.
My wife last night goes, "Are you worried about Dustin?" And I said, "When am I not?
I'm
always worried about
I
Dustin."
texted Monday and I said, I'm worried.
Yeah.
But just like I'm not, but I am.
He'll
be fine.
There is
The guy will
always
pull through.
a part of my brain
He's a strong bull.
that is a little worried about Dustin in some way. And always has been, always will be. Is he getting enough sleep? What's his diet like?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like, is he
No.
hanging out with good people?
No.
Right.
No.
Like, it's
no,
just.
No.
It's always something. So,
But
yeah.
he prevails through it all.
Prevails.
And that's well.
He thrives.
He was in here tap dancing. That his lifestyle is the one thing keeping him healthy.
Yeah, his
So
lifestyle.
you watch where you're talking here.
Yeah.
I think he should write a book
Yeah.
after all of this.
After. Yeah.
Yeah. When he's done, chronicle the.
Yeah. When I first started working with him, he was writing for I'm probably forget it. It was like Hockey's Futures.
Yeah. That
something
sounds
like
about
that.
right. Yeah.
And he had been paying his own way to the draft every year to cover it.
Yeah.
To do this sort. And so he just kept doing it. And every spring he would come down with some combination of viral and bacterial infection. And like, it was clockwork, right? It was just, he would go to the draft, he would get sick as a dog, and he would like, and then he'd bounce back and just be
I'm saying he's
me change anything about my lifestyle?
No.
What would make you think I should do that?
Give the man another 2% glass of milk, and he'll be fit as a fiddle. Doesn't eat any coffee.
Yeah.
You saw him read the newspaper that one time, right? I don't get it, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to get it. He's a marvel of. He should be studied. You should have a group of scientists around him constantly, like writing down things and then charting his movements and his diet, his habits, his sleep, and all that. And
you guys start this up. You invite me in. The first thing he says to me off the air is, "Will, I take heart pills now." And I'm like, "Of course you do. I'm actually happy that a doctor has seen you and said, whoa, you should take something."
The best story was when he got his blood pressure taken one time. And the guy's like, "Whoa, do you run here?" No, I just got it from a nap. I mean, you could have two bigger gulps of... So, I mean, look, to sum it up, he'll be fine. He's on the mend.
He'll be Dustin. That's what he'll be.
Yeah, he's taking different roads here. Jocelyn texts in, tell him to put Vicks on his feet and put socks on. This will help his cough.
Yeah, I don't think it's that kind of a cough. That like the whole sort of like just, treat the symptoms and give it a couple of days and let it burn out.
Yeah, this is a deep.
That was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, the sauna won't help him now. Hey, like, but I could see him now going to a sauna now.
Oh yeah. Now,
coughing all over the sauna.
Now he'll go into the wettest sauna in the world. Yeah. Guys seem pretty uncomfortable with me in there coughing.
I said I was here to cure my sickness that nobody knows what's wrong with me. No, Dusty is a treasure. Loomis says, couldn't agree more. He'll be back. He's gonna.
Are you worried about Dustin? That was the dumbest question my wife has asked me in a long time. Of course,
Dustin Strong.
I am always worried about him.
Nash Osborne, Dustin Nielsen, so lively and bright, talks sports with passion and might. He gave fans a voice with humor and choice, now missed in Edmonton's light. That's good. You missed that. Tube Socks had a multi-paragraph.
That will look nice on the tombstone.
That's what I'm saying.
That'll look
I didn't want to read the end. I'm like, now he's going.
Yeah.
That type of thing. No, he'll be fine. It's good. It's all good.
But feel free to text us your Dustin Nielsen epitaphs.
Just we'll tuck him away. 780-218-9999. 1-0 NBA Cup. Here we come. Rip City Steps chimes in. Yeah, NBA Cup. I mean, group stage, as I mentioned, going through the morning announcements right now. Not much. Klay Thompson's return. Raptors drop one. Mm-hmm. Yada, yada. We move on.
Raptors drop one. Raptors have dropped 5.
I know, but I mean, this is the NBA. That's a different competition. 0-1 now. But Maddie was saying a group of death, too. Hey, he was talking about the Suns, the Jazz, the Lakers. He identified a group of death yesterday. You missed it.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll go over maybe the courts.
He would be the
on.
one that would point out death. So,
yeah. Natty Iwanek will be back on the Hangout today, 9 to 11.
Thank God.
Yeah. Going over the show today as well. That's good for the Italian Center Shop.
That's good.
6:40. Zach was doing that all weekend. He's obsessed now. You've got him really on this. Jamie McLennan will be by 7:05 for Pro Am Sports. Cool, but Canada Hotline of the day. The Fan Zone for Fans First, 7:30. Eric Macramalla, legal analyst, back again.
I'm already feeling self-conscious about my nipples. Just going to say that right now.
You didn't bring the tape, did you?
I need the pasties. I told Trev, bring me the EST pasties.
You should have gone from the pop-up shop while you could over the weekend.
I know.
Kind of easy trivia from Will Fraser as well. 3 questions too many.
Keeping these things down.
That hurts. Greg Wyshynski from ESPN and the wrap from William Huff all on the way. But let's get into the morning after show here quickly. Oilers and Islanders last night. As mentioned, Leon Draisaitl with a pair, including the overtime winner. 4-point night for Connor McDavid. He's now a point shy of that 1,000 mark. The EST big moment that happened for you in the game was...
the overtime winner.
Yeah, it's kind of elementary in these cases.
It was, 3-1 they led. They let that lead slip away with 7 minutes remaining, and it was it could have been a dark outcome to what had been a very solid game by the Edmonton Oilers. They outshot the Islanders 2-1 over the course of the game. They had been clearly the better team, but their goaltender had kept them in it, and then some good work by the Islanders in the final 7 minutes had tied it up. And they don't score that goal, and we are in a completely different mood today. And so, yeah, Leon Draisaitl with just a gorgeous shot for the game winner.
Yeah, and then even the first one as well on the power play. I mean, that's just right from the office, shall we say. Trev, you probably agree with that. Overtime winner, hey, unless there's something else that's sticking out to you. Maybe, and it doesn't have to do with the result, I guess, but just moments.
No, that's I was driving home. I only watched like the last 10 minutes of the game, unfortunately. So I'm going to agree. Yes, the overtime winner. That's what got it done.
Well, listen, up until that, it would have been the appropriate non-call on Connor McDavid's goal
that had the Islanders bench up in arms.
Yeah, it did.
Well, you got to. That's what you do.
And if I was the Islanders, I would have been looking for a call.
You look for a call, yeah.
It was one of those rare ones, though, where when you look at the replay and you look at the rule book, you're kind of like, he had puck first.
If it's reversed, right? Are you? If the Islanders do it, they'll probably say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I always view a call through now, is that if you see it from the other end, you're like, well, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Listen, I would say this. If the situation was reversed, I would be a little frustrated that I had a player turning his back to the play.
Sure.
That led, maybe
that's what they were in arms about.
Where in, when you teach hockey, do you teach a kid, at the blue line, you know what you need to do is completely lose your check and assume that the exit is happening, right? What you want is for him to concentrate on making sure that puck makes it out. And instead, he was trying to concentrate on, I don't know, pivoting with
turning up and taking it up and leading a rush.
It was in his feet, and the player made a bad call, which led to McDavid being able to
especially
get the puck first.
With the individual you named. I mean, you got to know who is kind of out there around. The danger zone is happening right now. You can't be kind of
if that, and I don't know who it was. The name escapes me. If that player literally just works to get that puck out, makes contact with that puck, but instead he was trying to let it come through his legs and do a pivot.
Let the puck do the work. And
if he makes contact with that puck before McDavid gets there, it is a tripping
then it's
call.
a tripping, yeah.
But instead he tried to be pretty, and McDavid beat him to the punch.
Super stat of the night. There's quite a few you can pull from here, both individually and team-wise. The Islanders, 19 giveaways. Oilers as well, 10 takeaways on the docket. And this was two teams coming in with special teams percentiles that were near the bottom of the league. But the Oilers kind of working their way back up, 1 for 2 with the man advantage and holding the Islanders to their 2 chances with the man advantage, 0-2 for the Islanders on the PP. But it's got to be, McDavid and Draisaitl again. McDavid now inching closer to that 1,000. 4-point night for him, a goal and 3 helpers. Draisaitl with the pair. It's got to be where you're looking, correct? Ilya Sorokin as well. He deserves a flower or two today.
Absolutely.
There are some sequences.
He was the difference maker. Until
absolutely.
Draisaitl's overtime winner, he's your number 1 star.
Yeah. So those are your anything else you're pulling away numbers wise, I guess, from last night? I guess I kind of said them all for you, but I didn't really mean to take all the
Well, Evan Bouchard with a 3-point night.
Yeah, love that.
Quietly
silence the critics.
Well, doesn't necessarily look great defensively out there, but when he's putting together 3-point nights, it's kind of not what he's out there to do.
Well, I know. That's right? 8 shots. He had 3 howitzers, I think, in the first 10 minutes or something like
kept
that.
Pressure on, did what he was supposed to do. But it could be a very different day right now if the Oilers blow that thing in overtime.
Yeah, and lucky was the Islanders on a Tuesday. But I did going in last night. This is some of those teams sometimes that they do fall prey to. And you saw the Leafs last night too. Kind of that same medicine. Quiet Tuesday night. You've come off a big emotional win against a good team. Yep. And then you just kind of let things go. But they didn't. And 4-3, you come out of that. I don't care how you get them, but you get the full 2. And I think, again, knowing when it goes to overtime with this team, especially against the opposition last night, not a given with Sorokin, I get that, but you're going to find some space with all that ice out there and kind of get him out of. Bouchard had that good-looking overtime as well that Sorokin stoned him in tight and up close.
Yep.
Also, I think, too, the Islanders had two guys in front of the net early on in the game. There was a giveaway by the Oilers, and maybe things could have changed there as well, but 3 stars of the night last night, and it should come as no surprise, really, for this collection. McDavid 1, Draisaitl 2, Sorokin 3. Maybe a little Anders Lee, pair of goals as well for the Islanders to keep him in it.
Yep.
Bouchard, you mentioned, with his point tally, but anybody else you got for a 4th?
Well, it's Anders Lee,
Yep.
and with a bullet. It's not even a hard decision. Those were 2 crucial goals for the guy wearing the C for the New York Islanders. very much looked like that team captain out there. And I'll tell you this. What's happened with Bo Horvat?
A banged-up Islanders team, too, in a sense, where you could argue that maybe a couple of guys maybe trying to do too much or forced to do too much right now. But Barzal out, Mike Riley, Romanov on the back end, but Duclair as well, another offseason acquisition. So, I don't know. I think
Bo Horvat played 21 minutes last night and had one shot on goal. That's it.
That hurts.
Yeah, that's not like... like in this town, we love to jump on the guy who's making a lot of money and not providing what that money is supposed to pay for. That would be tough to be an Islanders fan right now.
2 giveaways on the evening as well.
Yeah.
He was joint tied with forwards in that department. So, not a good... Maybe your 38th star for the game. Fair?
At the money he makes? Yeah.
Yep, sure. Why
Absolutely.
not? Oilers, once again, 4-3 overtime win over the Islanders. Bumps them up as they continue their push up the Pacific ladder. It'll be the Nashville Predators in town tomorrow night. Here's
a stat for you in the Pacific. Teams 1 through 6 in the Pacific are separated by 6 points.
This ain't your Central. This isn't like a feast and famine type of division. I mean, 1 through 4 in the Central. That'll be your Colorado Avalanche occupying that 4 spot.
Yeah.
It's almost a double up of points, 30 to 16 from the Jets' point of view.
Yeah.
Which they, again, continue to roll, as mentioned earlier. But, the Kings still perched atop. Golden Knights have 2 games in hand on them at point back. But it's all there for the taking.
6 points between
it's screaming out for
Los
them to come
Angeles
get.
and Seattle.
Yeah. And they'll go on a streak. They'll go on a run here, right, where they win 8, 9, 10 in a row. And they'll be back up there by Christmas.
Sure. That's the hope.
How do you bet against it? Well, I mean,
although that's how it always feels anytime they're playing good hockey. This'll never end.
That's why last night, too, in a smaller sample size, I was really kind of...
This'll never end.
I'm not an eternal optimist here.
And then they lose 2, and this'll never end.
Predators 4-4-2 in their last 10, so turning it on?
Yes.
Comparatively speaking to where they were, right? Still rooted at the bottom of 12 points, but... I don't know. Nashville tomorrow should be interesting. That's your morning after show today. 6:29, the Nielsen Show presented by Southford Chevrolet, coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. We'll get to a sports update here for the fine folks at Nisku Glass. I'm dealing with them right now. They're going to come out and see me to do some work. I don't even have to go see them.
New bay windows? What are you doing?
I wish. The windshield incident.
Oh, right.
With that great RCMP officer who I just have to...
I miss
doing your job, boy. Yeah. Oh no, I got pulled over because I was passing an RCMP officer on the highway. He's doing 100.
Nice.
So I can't do 90.
Yeah.
So I had to pass. So I get past him. And you know how I look.
Yeah. Suspicious.
Really?
Or, as the
that's
kids
annoying.
say, sus.
What do they call it? Carding, right?
Sus.
Oh, yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I pass the guy, and then I'm still in the left lane. He gets behind me and flips on the lights.
Yeah, get a haircut.
I'm like, what's going on here? It was Sunday morning. I was coming back from my Rough Rider game trip.
From his dealer is more like it.
Get out of town. I'm sober as a judge, and you know it. And then he comes and he's like, I'm like, well, I wasn't speeding. I was doing 105. And then he's like, oh, your windshield.
You smoking the grass there, son?
Well, I looked him in the eyes. I said, no, sir.
No, sir.
But so windshield. And again,
Some
I got
of those jazz cigarettes?
No.
Got any of those around here?
You're pissing me off. Nisku Glass, great people, fine folks, and boy, I'm having a good... Sometimes when you deal with companies, it can be a major headache. Major headache.
Get bent, pig.
I most certainly did not. I was let off with a warning. But I'm going to take that warning and act on it.
You should.
As a good citizen does, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and as I told you, I'm like, you're going to be blown away at how cheap it is.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And Nisku Glass as well going the distance. So
I think we all drive around in our old vehicles, and our friends who have brand new ones who have gotten their windshield replaced, and they're like, man, it was like $1,200. And we're like, well, I don't have $1,200. My car's not worth $1,200.
If you have a smart.
Why would I do that? And then we finally force ourselves, and it turns out if you drive a cheap car, windshields are pretty cheap too.
Well, if it's not a smart, I learned that. Like unless you're doing your computering on it or whatever you do, but no, that is good. Nisku Glass, they're here for you. They'll meet you. They'll meet your needs, literally.
If you still have to control your own windshield wipers, your windshield's going to be pretty cheap.
Go see Nihilism today. Trev's got a sports update. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen here. Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
The Oilers win 4-3 in overtime last night over the Islanders. Connor McDavid with a 4-point night is now just one shy of 1,000 on his career. Leon Draisaitl also had 2 goals, including the overtime winner. The Oilers will now host the Predators tomorrow night. Elsewhere last night, Canucks 3-1 over the Flames. Jets double up on the Rangers 6-3, making Winnipeg the fastest club in NHL history to reach 15 wins. Senators shut out the Leafs 3-0. Columbus have dropped 6 straight following a 5-2 loss to the Kraken. And off the ice yesterday, the Capitals acquired Lars Eller from the Pittsburgh Penguins for a pair of picks. In the WHL, Oil Kings host the Medicine Hat Tigers tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. Oil Kings are 8-7-1-1 on the season. Over to the BCHL, the Sherwood Park Crusaders host the Salmon Arm Silverbacks in the lone BCHL game tonight. And in the association group stage action from the NBA Cup got underway last night with 8 games. Raptors fall to the Bucks 99-85. Suns top the Jazz 120-112. Klay Thompson had 22 points in his return to San Fran as the Warriors top the Mavericks 120-117. Regular season action picks up tonight with 11 games that dot the schedule. The Sports Update brought to you by Nisku Glass. If you're looking for replacement glass for your construction equipment or fleet vehicles, or a home or business owner looking to upgrade your space with high-efficiency windows and modern glass designs, Nisku Glass is here to help. From your home or business to your vehicle, they won't just meet your glass needs, they'll shatter them. Check out their Instagram or give them a call at 780-955-7989 and see what Nisku Glass can do for you.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Getting their money's worth here, eh?
Featuring,
yeah. Hell of a deal.
Need to update your roles.
Hell of a deal. 6:35, this is the Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Will Fraser in this morning as well. And YouTube Trev keeping it locked with the sports updates, producing the show, the program.
We've got to roll with that for the rest of the month.
Well, it is kind of
long this last. Yeah, featuring Lieutenant Eric. I think it's exclusively at these.
For the time being, yeah. We'll keep the seat warm for him. Jordan texts in Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Oilers keep coughing up the lead. Who do they think they are? Dusty? Get it?
Ooh, Dustin Burn.
He is in for text of the day here for A&W right now as well. At A&W, you can get those $1 small coffees or $2 small lattes.
You know what that deserves?
Until November 24th.
That's good.
Well, we'll get to that. That was that's Jordan. You're in the lead, buddy, and on a Macramalla intro day nonetheless.
Yeah.
Top job. KC also saying Eric Macramalla, EST legal analyst and guy who keeps pretending he doesn't know me when I ask to borrow money despite going to law school together. True story. He was 1 year ahead of me at Manitoba Faculty of Law. Macramalla was rolling in Manitoba.
He did law at Manitoba. We're gonna have to double check.
You never knew this.
I thought he was
a
a University of Ottawa graduate. I know he has taught at University of Ottawa. I thought that was his alma mater.
Never knew he's been out west at all. Past Pickering or
sounds like somebody's LSATs weren't that strong. Am I right?
Well, you're gonna have to. Rob from the Grove thinks the windshield story is a joke.
He was there on an athletic scholarship.
I completely. Well, yeah. Pole vault.
Go Bison.
Yeah, go Bison. The herd, as they're affectionately called, not to be confused with Marshall, not Dusty's son. 780-218-9999. And we're in the nasty chat as well. Our pursuit of changing 100 continues here. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the like, smash the sub as well. We're sitting at 63. The new LT show with Will. Yeah, we got to fix Trevor in there as well. Again, you got to get them all on the marquee. Everybody that's touched this show, you got to get on the marquee at some point.
Actually, I have a bit of credit card debt and other debt. If we could keep this on the down low, that'd be appreciated.
Oh, so you're not? Yeah.
Don't put
volunteer
my name in
time.
anything.
Hey?
Don't put my name into anything.
Rip City Step chimes in. Trailblazers punked Anthony Edwards and the T-Wolves. Not update worthy, Trev, to take first place in the NBA Cup pool. I thought you were cool. Well, he can fit. Look, we're not going to go over every game in the NBA Cup Emirates group stage action last night. Just the big ones, right? A bit of a shot there, but yeah, let's get into
fired.
Shots fired. That's good for the Italian Center shop.
That's good.
Well, and I'm going to get into the NBA Cup right now because Maddie brought it up yesterday. Okay. It's the courts, man. He brought up all the courts, the painted courts. It looked like Canadian money because they're all different color and different design, and you gotta come on.
It's a lot of paint.
Yeah.
I don't know who's cleaning this up. That's
well, you got to paint them for every, and then the next day you have a regular season game, so you got to go back to the regular.
Is this all just one big sticker? Is that what this is? How does this work?
Look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? It all looks like Monopoly Canadian money. That's good. I love the...
that's good.
I love a good in-season cup competition.
I do, actually. I just wish it was international. Like
I now I get what you're saying. Or maybe mix a little South American flair into it, eh?
Yeah, like I wish that there was... I wish it felt more than just a weird regular season game.
Yeah, and that's kind of the it's kind of the poor thing here. If they had to maybe incorporate G League teams, although they would get smoked, but it's a chance for your NBA team to kind of start guys that would normally play in the G League but not play in the G League. And that's like
the G League has developed by leaps and bounds. It is a legitimate minor developmental league where you are bringing guys in and trying them out and establishing systems. Like from what it was 15 years ago to what it is now, it is night and day. Like the NBA didn't have a developmental league.
Sure.
For most of its existence, you either played in the NBA or you didn't. And if you sucked in the NBA, you just sat on the bench. They didn't do anything with you. They now have a proper league. And you're right. This, if you expanded it to Spanish teams or Croatian professional teams, you could be bringing in some of your G League players and letting them work within your system.
The Iowa Wolves, you're telling me if you put them in a group with the Raptors?
Yeah, that they're not going to give them a run for their money?
Who's to say?
Yeah.
And then they knock them off. I mean, that's because that's where it is. And I don't want to bring up soccer on this show. I don't mean to, but as an example, those cup games are used for lesser than players, and you're going against clubs or teams which have their full slate, but in a league or two below. And if you knock off the big club, albeit with even, their backup players or whatever it is, that's a huge boon for that organization as a whole. Timberwolves.
I understand that anyone who has grown up with North American sport and
it's tough to wrap your mind around.
Unspoken rules of North American sport, you look at the relegation system and you go, that feels like too much. But once you kind of get into it, it's true justice is what it is. It feels just when your team is so good that it gets pushed up, or when your team is so bad it gets relegated, right? Like when you have that,
you should get rewarded for it. That's the idea.
Like it feels right, and then it also makes those other lower leagues feel even more important. Right? When you are sitting in a Grand Rapids and you're just quote unquote a farm team for other squads, it can be a little disheartening, and it affects. It's the reason why the CFL is not a developmental league. Like, you want to kill people's love for football in this country, just make them into a developmental league, and it will change the way people. But imagine if you could have some sort of relegation system within North American football.
Well, even in I mean, they should in soccer if it wasn't such a Ponzi scheme.
Yes,
but because there are leagues below. I mean, there's thousands of teams littering that. But it's funny. Yeah, Reed brought that up yesterday too. He was irking him that the NFL calls themselves world champions on their banner. Technically, the CFL could do this as well.
Sure,
the winner of the Grey Cup could be the world champion of three-down football.
Yeah,
and we should
probably
own that. We should take that and own it and put it on the banners and put it on everything. That's good.
That's good.
Rip City Step chimes back in. It's completely different floorboards. We got you. Pull them aboard. Yeah, they don't just paint the, or do they? Wouldn't that be great? Tons of paint. The NBA just goes through paint like it's.
So you're telling me they just have floors sitting around
And under the board, sometimes there's ice.
I know. Yeah. Actually, what I would like
when they did that in Cheers, it blew my mind as a kid. I didn't know how it worked.
I'd like it if it was just disposable and like a sheet of paper, right? Like at the beginning of every season, they lay down 42 basketball courts on top of each other.
Done with that one. Yeah, you can auction them off.
Season starts and you like the playing surface is a full 10 feet above where it finishes at.
Troll says, just be happy the NBA was mentioned in the update at all. That bleep is the worst sport ever invented. LOL. Are you not Canadian?
Basketball's the worst
Are
sport?
you not Canadian? It was invented here, right?
Yeah. What would be the worst sport?
Worst sport. 780-218-9999.
That's a
Not
fair
worst
question.
league, worst sport.
What is the worst? What sport do you watch and you're like, this shouldn't be a thing?
I've said this before and I get in so much trouble for it, but just Olympic sports.
Most Olympic
Because
events.
I'm trained to. I'm a North American guy. I like my chicken wings and,
Let's keep it to
team sports. Okay, team sports.
What's the worst team sport out there?
Man, you stumped me, Trev. You got anything?
Trev? You've played them all.
I played a few.
I'd say floor hockey's pretty high up there.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. Like choke ball as well. Like that's the one that I played.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, what's that? But what are your guys' thoughts? Like, and this isn't, I don't know if any listeners are huge cricket fans.
Yeah.
But you guys ever sit down and watch cricket?
I've tried.
The problem with cricket is
A 2-week test.
Yeah, is that it takes. I mean, obviously they are offshoots of each other, but it takes the uniqueness of baseball and perverts it, right? The uniqueness of baseball is until that final out comes, anything can happen, right? The game is alive. It doesn't run on a clock. It's why I love baseball.
Yeah.
And then you get cricket where it's like, we're here for the next 3 days, so you might as well pitch a tent, make several meals. Like it's obscene.
I do like the idea of going and spending time there, like the Windies taking on whatever, and you're there for like, how long are you there? 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know too much about it, but I like to keep it that way. Because in my mind, in my world, I like to kind of fantasize about, at a cricket match, and you're drinking those big Australian beers and smoking cigarettes, and guys are catching them with their bare hands, and all that, dressed up like plumbers or whatever, like Mario or Luigi running around. I don't know. Have you played cricket in this league? No, have you ever messed around with it? No, none of that. They play it all the time in the River Valley. It's actually quite fun to watch, and it's kind of interesting, but
there's a cricket field by Victoria Golf Course that is in constant action.
Yeah.
And there are some good matches out there.
now this conversation just gets into sports we don't understand. I mean, Aussie rules football is kind of like, I kind of get it, but I don't.
Yeah.
You play in that big A,
it looks entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So it's tough for me to be like, that's the worst team sport.
I hate it because I don't know it, but I don't because it looks great. Pat says you need to watch cricket with an Australian. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You love Australia. I know it.
I have all the time in the world.
Maybe it's the 400 beers. I guess we'll never know.
Slightly drunk Australian. Nothing makes me happier. Why are you still shouting? What are you shouting about? Stop. Get off the speaker. Stop shouting.
Nobody can answer this one. Canton Red Deer says that Quidditch thing, that's not even a real sport.
Yes, it is. Actually,
no, it's not.
Actually, Quidditch goes right to the top. I've seen nerds actually play it for realsies.
But so is LARPing. It's not like, but it's not. Nobody's.
Yeah, you want to know when the country started going down a bad path? It's when we allowed nerds to freely roam in the woods.
That's good.
In the woods, pretending to be knights, and we didn't do anything about it. We just said, let them be. They seem to be having fun.
Shut that crap down when
We
you
should have
started
shut
it.
it
Get
down.
it at the root.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hand-stretched house-made dough topped with our signature sauce and the best ingredients from our deli.
That's good.
Our pizzaiolos at the Italian Center shop. They've done the hard work, so you just need to throw them in the oven and you look like a hero in 10 minutes. Pastas, sandwiches, whatever. I know Rob from the Grove took down an entire panino sandwich the other day, which is very
oven.
amazing, I'll say.
Our pizza oven did such a nice job.
We did the trial run from fresh or frozen. Doesn't matter.
See, you got me now. I said hour. Oof.
Well, you are on the payroll. Tax man, ignore that one.
Keep it to yourself. I faked my death a long time ago. There are people out there looking for me. So Yeah, let's keep this on the down low. This is just between us and the internet.
CB radio guy says, guys, I've traveled to 60-plus countries. Can confirm Aussies are the worst. But they're all. But he says they're also a bunch of beauties.
Yes.
So he follows it up.
Listen, I have family who are Australian, and I enjoy very much. But there's also a part of my brain that's like, what? You're not charming. You're not as charming as you think you are.
Jimbo says the AFL is dope. Aussie Football League. Highlight is weird. Box Pounder says.
Is that a team sport, though?
Well, it's like is it like a duo? Is it a
I feel
doubles,
that's
doubles?
more like a tennis sort of thing.
Or squash or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're not
good
including
call.
those again. Yeah. It's I love highlight.
There's no more deadly sport than highlight.
And don't you need like a huge warehouse to play it in? Like you need a very
highlight
large
literally kills
building.
a certain percentage. Like it and race car driving are pretty much the most dangerous sports.
Concrete jungle.
Well, because the ball is coming out of the basket at like 150 miles an hour. Like,
and you have to like run up on the wall, don't you, or something?
Yeah.
Mr.
Burns.
Yeah. Speed walking in the Olympics is the dumbest, most useless sport ever.
Yeah, not a team sport.
But again, we're not. Yeah, we can't find an answer. We dared you. We can't find one. We can go to the Olympics. I get it. Like somebody takes in judo. I mean, those are all disciplines and everything. And again, it takes a lot for these athletes to train. And I get all that. I just, as a viewer and consumer of sport via the TV, it's not really turning my crank.
Yeah, think about the sport where you see two or more people out there, and you're amazed that they were able to convince two or more people to join them out there. Like that's what we're talking about.
I stand corrected as well, Jeffrey Taylor. Basketball was invented by a Canadian, but not in Canada.
That's right.
James Naismith. Yeah. Same thing.
No, it really isn't.
Same thing. Okay, but is that the answer? Basketball? Like, are we just?
No, I love that.
Well, because then, what else?
What are your guys' thoughts on roller derby?
Yeah,
pro wrestling in a sense. Like
roller derby.
Just on roller
Like it's
skates.
real.
Roller derby feels like it's in on the joke.
Yeah.
Like
that's a good way of putting it.
It's a sport that doesn't take itself seriously, so I don't think
it's a
we're
good shout.
supposed to.
Like we're trying to find out.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't think I could get involved
Inline
in roller
hockey.
derby.
That's the worst team sport. Inline hockey. Absolutely. There it is.
But even that's not even.
No, that is.
Who watches that? Nobody's watching that.
Inline hockey is the worst. The guy who's really into inline hockey makes you sad a little bit, doesn't he? Like where you're kind of like, no, I get it. Like you're pretty good. Like you seem to be enjoying it, but there's literal hockey out there. I don't know why you're not just playing that.
Okay, somebody's saying netball in the nasty chat. It's like basketball without the backboard. Hey, is that kind of what we're?
Ugh.
I've seen that, and you can't. I'm pretty sure, and you can't. I don't think you can dribble. Like wherever, if you get a rebound, you have to stay like put. And people like I'm pretty sure the defenders can't like.
Frisbee football's pretty stupid too.
Yeah,
Frisbee football's pretty dumb.
It's like ultimate frisbee kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's fair. I kind of like ultimate.
I'm sure you do. Listen,
he's real good.
I'm not saying you didn't enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
I'm saying
I love throwing
as
the frisbee.
a sport is concerned, it's a pretty dumb sport.
No.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, football's cool.
Football is cool.
Ultimate frisbee is the LARPing of football.
But it's like, I can't really defend it.
Are you a real football player? No, I play ultimate frisbee. Yeah, that's kind of like the guy running around in the river valley dressed as a knight. Are you a real knight? No, but I'm LARPing as one. Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
City.
We have an interesting point system to determine who won a fight.
Rip City Step says the NFL is the worst sport.
It might be the worst league. Yeah.
But it is a different sport than, like football has lots of derivatives, as I said, the world champion thing. So you can kind of say the NFL is its own sport, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Water polo.
Yeah, team water polo, hey? Because that's big in Europe. They got their clubs, Barcelona and all the rest. Yeah, Greek. Like
Ibiza versus Barcelona. Yeah.
But they have clubs. They're shooting off fireworks in the stands. They got their ultras there. And
this is also, I guess this is actually a pretty good one. Underwater hockey as well.
Yeah.
That one
it's another one where you're like, what are you doing?
Why don't you just stay above the water?
Here's
and
the
just
thought,
play hockey?
just drowned. Because it looks like
I had a guy
like you're all mildly suicidal. Like
I was at a party like last year and a guy was like telling me how good he was at underwater hockey and I was just trying to be serious about it. Like, wow, that's impressive.
Like they literally break each other's fingers in that sport.
And you have to I hate holding my breath.
Underwater having your finger broken sounds like like an unwakeable nightmare.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, and then you get hit. All the air goes.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to go back up.
Water polo players are in insane shape. Can't say that about netball. Maybe netball might be in the lead.
Yeah.
Brandon from Windsor says inline hockey is great. Field hockey. Did we mention underwater? Did we say field hockey?
Listen,
Field hockey?
I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy whatever it is that you're doing.
No, that's not what we're saying here either.
Enjoy whatever it is that you're enjoying doing.
Yeah.
But it's still dumb.
Hurling.
Like hurling's wild.
It's wild, but I mean, I don't know. Kind of, it's up there with cricket. I don't understand. I'd like to understand it, but I kind of don't want to.
Well, hurling is a mix of lacrosse and field hockey.
Sure. But I think if I understood it, I wouldn't like it as much.
And rugby as well, because it has both a goal and uprights.
You can get cauliflower ear.
And different scoring for goals and through the wickets, I think is what they call it.
Okay, but it's basketball, right? We're going all these weird roads, but of the main like team sports.
Of the dumbest sports?
And somebody said too, because in basketball, and hear this, you only need you need a dominant couple of players. In a sense, like you kind of need.
I don't know what. Like,
no, I know. I'm trying. I'm setting this up to the hockey thing.
Yeah,
I'm like two dominant players last night.
Yeah, listen, I don't know how that's different from what's going on in this town.
Exactly. There we have it. Basketball's dumb. Hockey's great. Yeah. Because of the dominant couple of players. Roller derby is awesome. This texter says lots of actions, kind of like the O-line v D-line on wheels on a track. You should check out Evil Roller Derby. So for all of you that want to check out the roller derby, Evil Roller Derby, check that out today. This was a good exercise. I didn't mind this. We're not, again, as Will said, we're not coming at you for your likes or interests. That wasn't the point of this.
And it was an honest question.
Getting the brain going.
Because as far as the most underrated sport out there, there's one answer, and it's always the same answer, and it's wheelchair rugby. As soon as you've seen one of those games, you're like, this might be the greatest thing I've ever seen.
You know what? Any wheelchair sport, to be honest with you, takes a lot of
is super respectable, but wheelchair rugby is wild.
Like basketball too, having to wheel around and then get the ball in your hands. I can't even. And Wheels as well. Good luck to Atif. Wheels is doing his sledge hockey tournament down south as well, so hopefully he's finding success down there. But somebody also said ringette.
Yeah, ringette's tough.
I don't have a lot of time for ringette.
Yeah.
Broom ball. We're kind of scraping the bottom of the broom ball. And again, no offense to all you.
Broom ball is one of those ones where you're like, I don't know how this is still a thing. I in today's day and age of litigation, I do not get how they allow school kids to run around in shoes on ice with mallets. Like it seems like it should have been sued out of existence by now.
Well, we could maybe ask Eric Macramalla if he's ever touched on a case or two at U of M back in the day, hey? Actually, the Bisons were taking on the Lethbridge Pronghorns, and two great broomball schools there, if you... Right?
There's implied risk, and then there's broomball.
Yeah. That's good.
That's good.
Check out the Italian Center shop today. Once again, the pizzas, the pastas, the sandwiches, the whole bit. You can even get the sauce, just the sauce. Love the sauce.
All of it.
Too much sauce.
Yeah.
Get it all at the Italian Center shop today. Lieutenant Eric, Will Fraser once again in for Dustin Nielsen, YouTube Trev. This is the Nielsen Show, Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll be joined by Jamie McLennan just after the top of the hour. He'll break down the Oilers Islanders. Of course, he was on Senators duty last night. Senators taking care of the Leafs as well, so a full NHL slate and picture with him. Cool but Canada hotline today, the Fan Zone for fans first.
Fan Zone.
And legal analyst Eric Macramalla, U of M grad. Maybe it wasn't kind of explained too well. He did work there, but again, you'll quiz him on his time as a Bison. Once a Bison, always a Bison. That's what they say.
First we have to see if it's true.
Yeah. Well, he might deny though.
Yeah.
He knows he can. The guy can lie. He's a lawyer. So that's all the way. All coming up in hour number 2. Once again, text in 780-218-9999.
If you believe it.
Paris Jewelers inbox. Come hard after that A&W text of the day as well. It's the Pret 100% organic coffee on now until November 24th. $1 for a small coffee, $2 for a small latte. Sustainably farmed beans. A&W raising the coffee bar across Canada, so come hard after that $20 to A&W. Want to mention as well right now, Alley Cat 6 o'clock or lager. You know it well. Coming in the tall boys, the pack of 4, $12.99. That's what they'll be priced at starting November 14th. That is tomorrow through the Christmas season. So I know my dad loves that stuff. I'll be picking up a couple for him as a gift. But 6 o'clock or longer, $12.99 through tomorrow and the Christmas season, courtesy of our friends at Alley Cat. Pick it up now. It's a hot deal.
Stock up for the holidays.
Heck of a beer. I think we've just stocked up recently here for the little beer fridge. There's always a little crate that shows up mysteriously.
There's no mystery.
We see Alley Cat, and we love you for it. But $12.99, 6 o'clock or lager in the 4-pack, starting tomorrow through the Christmas season. Heck of a deal from our friends at Alley Cat Brewing. Check them out today. We had a sports update for now, an EST sports update. Trev's got all the action from the NBA Cup. And, of course, everything that happened on the ice last night as well. We'll be back. TSN's Jamie McLennan joins us next. It is Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser, YouTube Trev, The Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
The Oilers win 4-3 in overtime last night over the Islanders. Connor McDavid with a 4-point night is now just one shy of 1,000 on his career. Leon Draisaitl also had 2 goals, including the overtime winner. The Oilers will now host the Predators tomorrow night. Elsewhere last night, Canucks 3-1 over the Flames. Jets double up on the Rangers 6-3, making Winnipeg the fastest club in league history to reach 15 wins. Senators shut out the Leafs 3-0. Columbus have dropped 6 straight following a 5-2 loss to the Kraken. And off the ice yesterday, Capitals acquired Lars Eller from Pittsburgh for a pair of picks. Tonight in the NHL, just 5 games. In the WHL, Oil Kings host the Medicine Hat Tigers tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. Oil Kings are 8-7, 1-1 on the season. Over to the BCHL, the Sherwood Park Crusaders host the Salmon Arm Silverbacks in the lone game tonight. And in the association group stage action from the NBA Cup got underway last night with 8 games. Raptors fall to the Bucks 99-85. Suns top the Jazz 120-112. Klay Thompson had 22 points on his return to San Fran as the Warriors top the Mavericks 121-17. Regular season action back tonight with 11 games that dot the schedule. The sports update is brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental and consulting services, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, not tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast, don't we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tutti and Eric and all of the bad cats like Wyshynski and Noodles. Captain can gauge it, maybe it's a fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time, Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Wanna hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away. Beat us the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about Amanda Canes? Macramalla, Rapapo, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him give a present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
7:01 on the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, streaming daily, and of course on YouTube as well. If you are watching on YouTube this morning, hit the like, pound the sub as well, subscribe to the channel. You'll be all caught up with EST. I know the boys last night. You'll be knowing when the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show is on. Tom Gazzola tearing it up. I know her. You know when Hernan Salas is in, there's that random bag of candy that's always left here, opened up and emptied on the recliners here. But Hernan locking it down with Tommy last night on the post-game show. Having a time. And get your texts in. They continue to come in. Why not? 780-218-9999 on the worst sport, I guess, out there. Team sport, the one you don't like the most, as our pursuit and trying to find one continues throughout the show. Some great suggestions. Street luge as well. But again, not really what we're looking for. Again, it's got to be basketball. I know it's maybe the answer not a lot of people want.
Yeah, we were saying team sport as well. Like,
team sport. Got to be team, yeah. So...
The one that makes you just go, I can't believe they got 3 people to do this.
Look at Zip here. Wheelchair rugby is amazing. I play it. Steel Wheels Rugby is the only team in Edmonton. We'll be in Red Deer in 2 weeks playing all Alberta teams. That comes in from Zip.
Zip, I've never met you. I will guarantee you're tougher than me.
Yeah, and Will would like your autograph.
Yeah.
6x9 glossy.
Or Matt. I'll take a Matt
You'll
finish.
take a Matt. Yes.
I'll take a Matt finish.
You're not going to be picky in this situation.
Don't pigeonhole me as an only glossy photos guy. 2
more hours left in the show. We got a good second and third hour coming up. Kind of easy trivia, 3 questions too many, beginning at 8 o'clock. That hurts for James H. Brown injury lawyers. ESPN's Greg Wyshynski will do a hot lap around the NHL circles with him around 8:30 in the wrap for William Huff. But hour number 2 begins now. We also will have your keyword for the EST flyway to LA. That's coming up around 7:25 today, so be by your phone then. That contest is nearing an end. We've got a couple of weeks for that puppy. We'll be doing the grand prize draw November 29. You have up until November 28 to qualify. And, of course, you can do it daily, Monday to Friday and Saturdays with the Hello Hockey Show. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell with that one. We're getting set to welcome in Jamie McLennan momentarily as we will wait for him here. He was on duty last night. Senators shutting out the... I'm reading a quote here, Will. We should be disappointed. Maple Leafs suffer rare home shutout and ugly loss.
Yeah, but they're playing in a division much like the Pacific. The Atlantic Division is...
They're still second place. It's 3 points back of the Panthers.
Yeah, like Florida's in first place with 23, and let's go down to the Sabres at 6th with 15. So there's 6 points separating your top 6 in the Pacific, and there is 8 points separating your top 6 in the Atlantic. So another tight division where you shouldn't be surprised by any of those top 6 teams beating any of the other ones. They're pretty well matched.
And even last night's opposition in the Islanders, 3 points back right now. The Rangers, albeit New York Rangers, have 2 games in hand. But yeah, kind of a tightness in the Metropolitan. Central is really that one where it's, again, kind of the haves and the have-nots right now.
It's a runaway.
Yeah, and but credit to the Wild, too, for keeping chase as well. Stars, yeah, they're in there, but Winnipeg's starting to pull away. 15-1. It's the fastest getting to 50. They win. They win the race. Fastest team ever in NHL history to get to that 15 marker. That's something. And doing it again last night, another stiff test. It's almost like a video game. You continue to get these tougher and tougher bosses. And again, I mentioned the Rangers 4th place in the Met, but going to MSG on a night like that, I mean, it's never easy, and they're a hard out too in roster-wise.
It's gotten to a point where right now there is no equal test for the Jets. The Jets are the best team in the NHL, and it's not close between them and whoever you think is the second.
They passed them all, yeah.
Like they are dominating the NHL. It's not a 4-3 overtime win, which is what the Oilers just pulled off. It's 6-3, 5-2. Like they are absolutely putting the gas pedal down. This is really, really impressive what's going on with the Winnipeg
Only
Jets.
team left to beat is themselves, I guess. And as we get closer to playoff time, that's kind of maybe
an
in a
82-game regular season.
Yeah.
There is like 2 major holidays in American Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, and everything that does on an individual basis that can screw around with a schedule. Like there are things to overcome. They will not be this good by the end of the season, but they are this good right now.
Jets are in Tampa tomorrow visiting the Lightning. They'll visit Florida Saturday, and that's the first of a home-and-home with the Panthers. They'll host them on Tuesday. So, yeah, Panthers, again, another stiff test, but one that you would think right now in this team and the Jets that they'll find a way somehow to pass it. So we'll keep an eye on them as well. For more on that and the Oilers' 4-3 overtime victory last night down at Ice District against the New York Islanders, we are joined right now by TSN's Jamie McLennan. He's brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Noodles, just before we get to the Oilers, you were on a pretty interesting broadcast, of course, covering the Sens. The result last night was one thing, but Kenzie Lalonde, how was that working alongside her?
It was great. I mean, Kenzie's been at TSN and been a reporter, and she's also done play-by-play for women's hockey. And, she's a veteran and kind of a legend in that right. But for her to get her first NHL broadcast, it was really cool. And I'll be honest, I don't get worked up for too much these days because it's just, you start talking hockey and you enjoy yourself. But I kind of had a little bit of nerves going into last night, more just because I was excited for her. And if you know her, she's a pretty, she's a really outgoing, very funny and very quick-witted person. So, seeing her poise, seeing her confidence, listening to her call. We had a really good game to call if you're on the Ottawa side. So, she gets her first goal call 40 seconds in, which I think kind of broke the ice for everybody. And honestly, she was fantastic. I think I'm scheduled to work about 12 games with her this year. We're working in some new play-by-play people. Matt Cullen and Kenzie Lalonde are in there. So it was great. I know it was historic. I always kind of brush that off to the side because I don't want I wanted it to be her night and her to enjoy it. I just kind of wanted to stay out of the way. So, I thought we had a fantastic broadcast. I mean, that's more up to the fans to decide, but we were really happy with the product, and I thought she was fantastic.
So you mentioned it, there's a couple of bit different perspectives to take from last night's game. Which is the better one? The Ottawa Senators look like a club that is finally getting its act together, or the Toronto Maple Leafs continue to frustrate with their inconsistent play?
I'll go with the Sens because they went into Boston and that was a big overtime win for them. And it was kind of, I don't want to say statement, but when you're playing these interdivision games, you're hovering around 500. Their road record really was not good. Their home record's solid. It's their road record that struggles. So it was the return of Linus Ullmark into Boston. Much was made of it, but I thought they played really well and found a way to get it done in Boston. And last night, honestly, that is, and I've been calling games for years, and I'll just say in the last couple years, that's probably the best performance I've seen them from the drop of the puck to the end of the game. I've seen pockets of really good play, but they have this inconsistency within the game where they'll give up 2 quick goals and all of a sudden they look like world beaters and they lose 4-1 because they can't get it back. And I kept waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm like, okay, the Leafs are going to have a push here. They're going to have another push. And the Senators for 60 minutes just were all over them from a speed and tenacity standpoint. Didn't allow the Leafs to get going. So it wasn't more the Leafs. It was really the Sens. The Leafs had won 3 in a row. They had a long week. You don't have Matthews. Pacioretty gets hurt. So there is some built-in excuses. But I think to me it was more about the effort of the Ottawa Senators.
TSN's Jamie McLennan joining us. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen. Oilers, of course, will be hitting the road. They'll be in Toronto Saturday night and visiting Ottawa next Tuesday, Noodles. But to last night's game, needed overtime against an Islanders team, a plucky squad, Sorokin keeping them in it. Just your general thoughts on the game. I too was pulling out the McDavid absence, albeit brief. And we were trying to pull silver linings from that whole time. This is time for Leon Draisaitl to pick it up. But that's kind of what's happened here. And Draisaitl's found his game. He's kind of elevated his game to best player in the world status while McDavid was out. And for Connor McDavid, since returning, it seems like he's really found his focus. So that injury kind of turning out to be a bit of a turning point here on a positive side for the Oilers thus far.
I agree 100%. And I think I said it, I don't know if maybe it was last week or the week before, but it was more, I don't want to say it was a turning point, but I think it was an opportunity for a reset. And what I mean for a reset, Connor McDavid, even in the games he was playing at the start of the year, he looked like he was sleepwalking. Like there was just some decision-making that was kind of un-Connor-like. He was skating into traffic. I thought his passing was off. He just looked off, just like the rest of the team. So the injury allows him to reset a little bit, to watch, maybe look at things from a different way, because a lot of times when you're in it, you're like, okay, do I have enough spacing? Do I have enough time to do some of these things? So when you're able to watch from the sidelines for a couple games, it might reinvigorate you. So that's from Connor's standpoint, because since he's come back, he's been brilliant. That's the Connor McDavid we know. And then from a team standpoint, you're right. Leon just stepped up. But I also think other guys were able to break through. Zach Hyman is able to break through. The only, I think we're seeing now a little bit better, more spirited play from Bouchard, who's obviously been in the firing lines. Yeah. RNH has kind of come to life. I think he's maybe in third gear now instead of second. But, RNH I never worry about because he's so smart. So I think he's going to be able to work whatever he needs to work out to have a successful season. But it was the other guys around. Stuart Skinner needed, we needed an extra save here or there. You needed the Darnell Nurse to kind of come around into his game. So I think a lot of these guys have been able to work on their game individually, and it's kind of translating into a better product. Although they almost pissed one away last night too. They were dominant, and I don't know if you guys get the analytics from Sport Logic. I do. I think what the high danger chances, I think at one point were like 15-2.
17-3 on the night.
Okay, so 17-3 by the end of the night. I mean, if you said to me, you're giving the Edmonton Oilers 17 high danger chances, that game's not close. And they found a way to make it close. Obviously, the goaltender, Sorkin, like he's a top 5 goalie in the world when he's on his game. And, Patrick Waugh got into his head last year and has kind of been in and out. But I think he's that good of a goaltender. So the Oilers deserve to win that game. They found a way to get it done. But, boy, they made it interesting again, as we always see.
Sticking with goaltending, Winnipeg Jets continue to be the class of the league. It's them and then everybody else. Yeah. Connor Hellebuyck is clearly your Vezina candidate at this point, the front runner. Should he not also be your MVP at this point as well?
Yeah, I think there's an argument for Hart there too. Like, it's easy, and I argue on my show and with other people too. I think it's a lazy narrative to go, okay, well, the Hart is guys with the most goals and points and stuff, and I'm going, okay, well, there's trophies for that too. There's a Rocket, there's an Art Ross. So I think sometimes the goaltenders get forgotten. It's like, okay, we'll just give him the Vezina. Well, the Vezina isn't good enough right now for Connor Hellebuyck. I do believe Hart is in the conversation. Now, I know we're 15, 17 games in, depending on, Tampa, like there's teams that have played 13 games. I think Vancouver played their 14th game last night. So, I look at it, it's still early, but I can't think of another storyline, another player that has had this type of success, this type of effect on his team and where they are. I think it is Hellebuyck. He's the pace car right now for not only the Vezina, but for the Hart.
TSN's Jamie McLennan, Lieutenant Eric, Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen this morning. Just sticking with goaltending, but back to the Oilers game last night as well. And you kind of mentioned, Sorokin on one end, Skinner 864, and, a tight game in overtime. I don't know if you're really blaming goals on him necessarily or for the Islanders to kind of come back. It was a plucky affair and a plucky effort. But when you got those high danger chances, as Will mentioned, and that gap in the numbers, does that also concern you, Oilers goaltending? It's always a bit of a floating question mark around this team, but in situations and games like that where it's so, unbalanced in terms of those metrics, it does give you a bit of a pause, or should it as well, coming out of these games, even though you get the 2 points?
Yeah. So, okay, you make a great point in there, and I'm going to kind of cherry pick a couple things. First and foremost, you worry about the win. Okay, so you don't worry about the numbers. The W is what was important. So last night, Stuart Skinner went home to his family a winner. With the game within the game, I've always believed that the Edmonton Oilers, the way they play, they don't need Vasilevsky, but they can't have below league average goaltending. And how many times have we talked about on this show, if you could just get league average, 16 out of 32 for starters, what does your team look like? That's, to me, that's where I think people, I think it's unfair, but that's the bar that's been set for Oilers goaltending, because they didn't have it for many years. It was below average goaltending. And you say, oh, geez, if we just had 905, we would have another 8 points in the standings. That would be playoffs. That would be something different. right now, I think Stuart Skinner, the one thing we know about him is he's got durability, and I knock on wood for him. But there's got to be a level that he finds where it's like you don't worry about the goaltender nightly. You're like, and I think playing on a team that has a potent offense that right now maybe not giving up a lot of chances and stuff, you got to make some timely saves. That's really what about his goaltending is the save at the right time. And I'll be honest, like against Vegas, that game-winning goal, I would have liked that save. I know there was, we'll call it 18 mistakes before it, and Bouchard floats away, and Skinner lets this guy go, and I just need a save at that point, like a big save to go, God, we got 1 point in the bank here, and let's go for a second one. And I'm not laying that loss at his feet, but there's just, and I know Oilers fans are the same way, going, geez, like if he could have just, and he made some big saves in that game, so it might have made up for it, but it's just the timely saves. And I think Skinner's a lot like his team. He gets better as the season goes on and gets more comfortable. But, the early growing pains, I understand the frustration. And last night, I think, was closer than it should have been. But, would you like one of the goals back? Maybe. I think it's more just about making a big save when it's needed. And then you don't have this barrage or a push at the end by the Islanders. They just go away because it's 3-1 with 7 minutes left. And you're like, okay, let's play out the string here. Nothing's going to happen. But they made it interesting. Good on the Islanders to push for the point. But I would like to see a little bit more consistency within the game. And it's not even the save percentage. It's more about when you make those saves. That's when Skinner is at his best, because we saw it in the playoffs. He made some big saves at the right time that allowed his team to play.
Well, Noodles, we appreciate your time, and talking next week, of course, you'll be with us Wednesday following that Senators-Oilers game on the Tuesday, so we look forward to that. Jimmy McLennan, TSN, thanks very much, man.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
There you have it. Brought to you by Pro-Am Sports as well. And we should mention Pro-Am right now. Gear up for game day. Oilers jerseys, headwear, hoodies, hats from Fanatics New Era 47 Mitchell & Ness in stock now. You can check them out. Corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. And I wasn't trying to come at Skinner at all. There's just always some talk from the fan base. Bro. Come at me. But he was visibly upset against Vancouver the other night, winning 7-3 as well and letting in a it's and Noodles is right. All you need is that above average goaltending with this team when it's firing offensively on all cylinders, but the nights that they're not, it makes you, oh geez,
yeah.
You do pause for a second.
Stuart Skinner was as successful as he needed to be at the absolute bare minimum, right? 4-3 overtime victory. He gave you the absolute bare minimum amount of saves that you needed for that victory. Would I have liked to have seen one of those 3 goals, him come up with a save? Yeah. He is one of those goaltenders where it's not so much that you're picking a consistent weakness or you're picking one goal going, oh, that's a bad goal. What you're doing is you're looking at the totality of it all going, I just want one of those 3 there to be a big
make
save.
It a little more easy.
I just want to see, and that's not to say that he doesn't make big saves. He makes
and this isn't coming down on him with the hammer at all either. Like we're not.
And he does play on a team where your goaltending stats do not matter.
Right.
Your wins and big saves are what matter. Right. And Noodles said it. Timely saves, and that's how he's going to be evaluated by this town and by his teammates. It's not going to be about his goals against average, his shutouts, his underlying numbers. It's going to be about the wins in the win column and timely saves at crucial parts of the game. So what are those? Last 2 minutes of every period, including the third, last 10 minutes of the third period, and overtime. Those are going to be his crucial moments where his teammates and this town are going to be looking for him to be better than he is.
You lean a bit in those. Exactly. Yeah. And if you're not clicking again with everything else going on, which what you're expected to do with this team's DNA, then it gets a little more, it's a little more visible, shall we say. Yeah. It can.
This is not a team that's about consistency. This is a team that's about showing up at the crucial moment.
Can the same then said about Evan Bouchard then? The same type of,
right.
make a play when you need to make a play. When you don't make that one particular play, you're going to get figured out pretty good because of
Yeah. When Evan Bouchard gets
you do a lot of good things.
When he gets beat wide or across the middle 5 minutes into the second period, that's frustrating, but also livable.
It's
when it happens
it's gonna
with
happen,
5 minutes to go in the third period that you're sitting there going, this is where you needed to either make a play or not be on the ice.
780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. What are you pulling out of that conversation with Noodles today or in the Nasty Chat as well? We're not going to do a Sorokin-Skinner competition here or anything like that, but Jody says no goaltending, no cup. But again, I think the Oilers can buck that definition. It's not ironclad where it's if you don't have one of the top 5 in the league, you're not winning a cup.
Right.
It's been proven over the years.
Stuart Skinner outplayed some pretty good goaltenders.
Sure,
last year's
along the way,
playoffs,
exactly.
Right? So I don't think anyone watched last year's playoffs and said that goaltending is the problem for this team.
Right.
Could goaltending put them over? If they had an $8 million goaltender,
yeah, but you can't make all that work. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
But then you're deleting somewhere else from your lineup.
Yeah.
So they're built the way that they're built.
We didn't get to the other Skinner as well. Jeff, who was on the fourth line last night, -1, no points for him. Bit of and he had a hot start to the campaign when nobody else really was this season, but falling off a little bit here.
And he's also going to be a streaky scorer.
Yeah, for sure. Shy of 9 minutes ice time as well last night for Jeff Skinner.
But he is one of those guys that you watch him play, and it's not like they've replaced Evander Kane in the lineup. They've kept his roster and his salary spot open. They've not used the LTIR money for something else. And I watch him, and I wonder how he stays in the lineup when Evander Kane is healthy.
Rip City Step says Trev is Stu's biggest hater. Above Average has chimed into the Nasty Chat as well this morning. Any thoughts on that discussion here, Trev? I mean, Painter's Pancake says 0.898 percentage is league average. 0.902 isn't a lot to ask for.
Yeah, Rip City Trev is Stu's biggest hater. I wouldn't say I'm a results guy. Like I need results, and so far this season, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't seeing crazy results. I know, Will, you were talking about the numbers and whatnot.
Hater's a strong word. You don't have to be a hater.
But like I'm not going to give him like the benefit of the doubt. Like I haven't seen enough from him yet to be a solid bona fide, starter in the NHL. I'm not saying I've never said he can't be that goalie. I just said I haven't seen it quite yet, and I feel like the start of the season has kind of justified that. At times he looks great, and then at times he doesn't, and so it's more so just the consistency. It's just being consistent as a goalie in the NHL, and he hasn't been the most consistent goalie. He'll have 2 good games, but then he'll follow it up with 2 bad games, and then it's like it's an up and down thing with him.
Outside of the top 5 goaltenders in the NHL nowadays,
that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's sure. That's league average. Goaltending is inconsistent.
Pick your style.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's league average. I'm not saying he's a crazy great starter. But I'm also not saying he can't be that.
But like the difference between the 10th best goalie in the NHL and the 30th best is
it's night and day.
Doesn't make you a hater, though.
Well, no, it's not night. I don't know. I don't know how to judge middle tier goaltending anymore. Right? Like I can tell you
night by night.
I can tell you who the best.
So I know what you mean.
I can tell you who the best goaltenders are. They stick out. But when you're not talking about the best, when you are talking about the guys that
they're all
pick up wins, and can probably win you a Stanley Cup. I mean, Darcy Kemper has a Stanley Cup. Like, look at the last several Stanley Cup winners and who their starting goaltenders were, and there's not a consistent goaltender in that group.
Yeah.
There's not a truly great goaltender in that group.
But you gotta get used to just living with it. That's kind of what this is the moral of the story here. Is that we're all. But we can talk about it.
I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep over it because
if this team performs to what they are, it should be fine. And the Nasty Chat's great. Tube Sock says he's a reflection of his team. He's perfectly fine. Toonsy's the driving cat says Skinner's bad goals / games causes leads to extra games played in playoffs. And yeah, perhaps that's true, but this team should be able to dig its way out of that scenario, and that's what they do. We'll move on. Cuba Canada Hotline today real quickly, taking a look. Haven't talked Grey Cup with you yet. The line is... It was 10.5.
Is this not? Let me ask you this, because
It's moved.
I am not much of a CFL fan
understand,
anymore.
yeah.
I have
get
my
it.
issues with it.
I get it.
But is this not potentially the best Grey Cup matchup we've had in several years?
Excuse me?
Like,
You're joking, right?
I am not. Like,
No. Well, it
like
was
when
before Chad Kelly broke his tibia.
Yeah.
Nick Arbuckle will be starting. It was
true.
the Bombers were 10.5 favorites yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
They've moved down now to 9.5.
Yeah.
So that's kind of getting a little closer. Argonauts will take the field today for practice for the
but like
first
we
time.
have the opportunity to see an
this is no.
an actual dynasty
Oh, give me
in
a
our
break.
time.
Yeah, beating Nick Arbuckle leeds to dynasty. This is the worst.
Who
And
was,
it's
who was
just-
the last dynasty in the CFL?
Well, I don't. Talking about define dynasty, though,
Well,
what does
like
it mean?
three in a row.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, 3 in a row, but I mean, they've been to a lot of Grey Cups. If they lose, that's what Matty was saying yesterday, is if somehow the Argonauts pull this off, which they won't, it'll be a great mark on their dynasty. I mean, it'll be a laughable thing. But they're playing Nick Arbuckle. And the Argonauts' defense is good. Special teams can pose a problem. I get all that. But if the Bombers show, if you show up halfway, they should have this thing in the bag. And to me, if that's the cherry on top of your dynasty, beating a team that lost its starter who was leading the offense, it just kind of, I will put a small asterisk next to it. And I give the Bombers lots of credit. Don't get me wrong.
This is a Grey Cup where, and I think you are, I think you're sleeping on the Argonauts a little bit.
I could be.
And I think
that's very fine.
I think their best player is injured.
Yes.
But I think they've got a lot of other pieces in there that are pretty dynamic.
They do. And it's a one-off neutral site.
Yeah.
Bombers are wearing their blue shirts and pants, so they'll be extra fired up for that. But I mean, it's looking at it right now, it's shades of 07. And for the Bombers, it's a chance to exercise that. Kevin Glenn leading that team into the East Final. They were all hot. He gets hurt. Enter Ryan Didwitty, who is now coaching the Argonauts. So the Bombers can kind of, and the Riders, again, James Johnson, 3 picks. You could argue that would have been a much closer game, albeit maybe a Bombers win if Kevin Glenn wouldn't have gone down. So this is a chance to exercise some ghosts of history past. But yeah, 9.5 today for the Blue Bombers. 10.5 yesterday. We'll see how much that moves still. But coolbet.com is where you can find all your Grey Cup stuff and the full slate of Week 11 in the National Football League, starting tomorrow with a delicious game. Commanders visiting the Eagles. Should be a hot one. Eagles right now -3.5 at home. You can join me for that at the Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge tomorrow. We'll even spin the touchdown wheel. Why not tomorrow and give you an anytime touchdown score. Coolbet.com. Stay cool. Bet responsibly with Coolbet. Let's give the word real quickly as well, and then we'll hit a sports update, I guess. Be by your phones. The EST fly away to LA. The next key word to qualify. Text in this word coming up. You got this one. You got it. I got it. You want to put on the screen? Yeah. What's the date? 13. Oh.
Ew. Oh, man.
Is it a word? It's
No.
not a word.
It's not a word.
It's not a word. You're back. Matt's got another non-word for the word today. Keyword, you want to text this in to 780-218-9999. And YouTube Trev could be giving you a call. Be by your phone if you text it in. Please be by your phone. Pick up the phone. Today's keyword, Sophie?
Sophie's choice.
SoFi. It's SoFi as in SoFi State. What
SOFI.
SOFI. What company? What do they even do? SoFi. Banking, loans, invest, credit card, mortgages. Mm-hmm. SoFi. And they spell it S, lowercase o, capital F, lowercase I. SoFi. Text in the word SoFi. Text in the company SoFi.
Yeah.
780-218-9999.
This is like...
You're so frustrated you can't even speak. What was the last one he had? Nuge. Yeah, that was the one that was
like
driving us
saying
wild.
that the word is SaskTel. Like it's
just a company.
It's
not a word.
That's not a word. Yeah.
When he walks in with his bags
Today's
today
word
in a
is
huff.
ASAP. Well, no, that's
AOL.
yeah.
Text SoFi 780-218-9999 and once again, be by the phone.
SOFI.
capital S, lowercase o, capital F, lowercase I. If you really want
You're a real stickler.
Style points. I mean, if Maddie was here, he'd only be taking those. Trip for two, December 26th to 30. Hockey, basketball, football, plus flights, hotel, and rental car. And again, it's all brought to you by the 780. You can check them out today online. The word 7, the numbers 80.com. Or check them out in person. Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
I was just in their Outlet Mall location just the other day.
780?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Like there's all sorts of weird stuff you would have never known existed. 100 local vendors that they work with from this area code. So you're supporting local, you're celebrating local. Check them out today, 780.com. We'll hit a sports update here. It's Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser, YouTube Trev, Nielsen Show, Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll be back with the little fan zone and legal analyst Eric Macramalla. Be by your phone. Trev will be giving you a call if you texted in SoFi shortly.
The Oilers win 4-3 in overtime last night over the Islanders. Connor McDavid with the 4-point night is now just one shy of 1,000 on his career. Leon Draisaitl also had 2 goals, including the overtime winner. The Oilers will now host the Predators tomorrow night. Elsewhere last night, Canucks 3-1 over the Flames. Jets double up on the Rangers 6-3, making Winnipeg the fastest club in league history to reach 15 wins. Senators shut out the Leafs 3-0. Columbus have dropped 6 straight following a 5-2 loss to the Kraken. And off the ice yesterday, the Capitals acquired Lars Eller from Pittsburgh for a pair of picks. Tonight in the NHL, just 5 games. In the WHL, Oil Kings host the Medicine Hat Tigers tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7. The Oil Kings are 8-7, 1-1 on the season. Over to the BCHL, the Sherwood Park Crusaders host the Salmon Arm Silverbacks in the lone game tonight. And in the association, group stage action for the NBA Cup got underway last night with 8 games. Raptors fall to the Bucks 99-85. Suns topped the Jazz 120-112. Klay Thompson had 22 points in his return to San Fran as the Warriors topped the Mavericks 120-117. Regular season action back tonight with 11 games that dot the schedule. The Sports Update is brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. In Mitch's spare time, you can find him playing Quidditch, cricket, and underwater ball hockey.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, not tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast, don't we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tuffy and Eric and all of the back end. Like Wyshynski and Noodles, Gavdick and Gage. Maybe it's fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat us to tie a fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramalla, Rapapo, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielsen Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
7:35 is the Nielson Show. What say you? One of Will Fraser's
What
favorite
say you?
songs here. Your favorite. Hey, you wanted that on a... I might burn that to CD, just that one track, and
you're a sicko.
gift it to you for Christmas.
I don't know why you do this.
4-pack of 6 o'clocker. It's Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser back again. YouTube Trev behind the monitors. He'll be phoning you if you texted in SoFi. Be by your phone. SOFI. It is a company, not a word. 2 words, actually. Right. SoFi, like it's a combination. That's he could have taken the root word of each.
It's a Frankenstein of a name, not even a word.
SoFi Technologies. Founded 2011. We won't go into personal finance company, but if you texted in that word, Be By Your Phone will be calling you momentarily. And your next chance, 9 to 11, with Matty Iwanek and the Hangout later today. The Nielsen Show, presented as always by Southford Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Check them out today in Fort Saskatchewan, as well, www.southfordchev.com. And we are coming to you live as well from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio, where they're bringing back the big box, 2-piece signature chicken. Will loves the back straps. Mm-hmm. I'll take a thigh, I'll take a drumstick, whatever. But
you're not picky.
2 regular sides and a biscuit as well, with the option for a drink. Go to Popeyes today and eat your fill. Macramalla will be joining us as well momentarily for Park Mazda. So get your Macramalla's intros in as well. Could be how you win text of the day. $20 to A&W on the way. Atif has chimed in. Good evening, gentlemen. This was texted at 10:30 last night. He's returned from Dallas, though, in his sledge hockey championship, or tournament, I guess.
Tournament.
They went 2-2 in the challenge.
Not good enough.
Well, it's 500.
Not good enough.
They'd be okay in the Pacific. Knocked out by the Carolina Hurricanes. Jocelyn will love that. Finished in 3rd. So it's nice to be home, he says. Great win for the Oilers. He had a question for Jean Bell here as well. He says, go Argos for the Grey Cup, Atif. And I want to get to Matt Hyman. Matt Hyman makes a good point as well in the nasty chat. That was Dinwiddie's first ever career start in the Grey Cup game. Arbuckle, of course, has started. Mm-hmm. He has played. But my point being, again, it's Nick Arbuckle. He hasn't. He's third string for a reason here.
You're skewed by your love of your Saskatchewan Roughriders.
That's exactly what it is. I talk about them so much on this.
By those Blue Bombers.
Look, this is a Winnipeg station, and we'll talk about the Bombers, and we will love the Bombers. It's all going off in Winnipeg right now. I love them. God bless them. But that's the thing. When I'm giving them too much credit, I'm not giving them enough.
Yeah.
Right. But I do give them credit.
Yeah. Listen,
but when I don't,
I grew up in this town.
I can't.
When Doug Flutie was a member of the Calgary Stampeders, I know how to avert the gaze of a dynasty team. I know how to look the other way, claim other things.
But it's 5. It'd be 5 appearances, right? But non-consecutive,
right? Yeah.
So, and that's fine. And again, if you top it off with beating a Nick Arbuckle-led team, albeit the Argonauts, which you mentioned, are defense special teams. I mean, they've gotten here.
They've got weapons throughout their lineup.
Sure, but it'd be a bigger story if they lose this game than if they win it.
Right.
We can all agree on that.
Yes, absolutely. There is an absolute front of the line favorite going into the Grey Cup.
Which maybe you grip everything a little tighter, knowing that in the back of your mind.
Yeah. We've seen teams blow it before.
Absolutely.
I just don't know if they're. I don't know.
I don't think they're a team that.
I don't think they.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just they don't have their. They know how to win, especially this season. They've won in ways which they. It's the Elks opposite this season. They've won games where maybe you could argue they shouldn't have. I look at that Hamilton Ticats game as well, coming up big. They playing when they need to play.
Has Winnipeg failed in a litmus test game this year?
No.
Every litmus test game they have been successful in.
They've passed. And again, not with flying colors sometimes, but they've passed, and they know how to do it and get it over the line. So this challenge, this Nick Arbuckle challenge they're presented with now, the final boss, 9.5, too low for me. Yeah. But go double blue. I will be flying the Argonauts flag in my house. Yeah.
Oh, that's heartburn. That's what that is.
They haven't lost a Grey Cup since 87. And they've been in quite a few.
Yeah.
And the Argonauts and Bombers, I think, own them in all-time Grey Cup. It's very fascinating stuff there.
Argos haven't lost a Grey Cup. Is that what you're saying?
Since 87. In the games they've been in, yeah.
That's crazy. What a
kind of nuts. Yeah. With a team, the league that have such many teams.
40-year run of success in Grey Cup games.
In the big game, yeah.
Wow.
So they know how to do it, albeit historically, this isn't the same roster that has played in those past games, but it's...
That's, yeah.
It's a neat little number.
Like John Candy has owned the team over that span.
CFL stat, baby.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Jocelyn says, love it, the Canes
Ishmael
wheels.
has played for that team.
Rocket Ishmael, yeah. He had the beer can flying on the field in Winnipeg, I do believe, right? I think. Good morning, guys. I probably missed earlier, but I was wondering if you can update us with Dusty's health and when he's going to be back. Please, that text comes in unsigned. Yes, we should keep you up to date on that.
We'd like to know, too.
Yeah, we don't know. I think Maddie officially placed him on LTIR yesterday. Retroactive to some sort of date.
That's how they're affording me.
Yeah. We had to move things around.
Yeah,
and
the salary cap has been adjusted at Edmonton Sports Talk.
But we've had lots of terminology surrounding him. I do love the one last week, whereas he will not be on the air until further notice, which was, I thought
that was the text I got.
I thought something else happened. Yeah. Like I was like, okay. Yeah. But no, he's sick. He's went for an X-ray on his chest and nasal cavity. He's coughing a lot. He can't sleep. So that's pretty much what we know right now. And
he's very sick.
Yeah. But he'll be, as we said earlier in the show, he will be. If there's one guy that can conquer this, it's him. A glass of milk. He's sleeping 2 hours. He'll get back to his regular 4-hour schedule soon, and all will be good.
Yeah.
I have no.
The problem is he's not playing enough men's league at 11 o'clock at night.
That was wild too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so tired. What time's puck drop? Midnight. What?
We're not making this up. He would show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And just be like, that was a late one last night. Didn't get off the ice till 2.
Stupid.
Yeah.
We got a qualifier here, Trev. Somebody that texted in Sophie.
Yes, we did. We do.
Who is?
Sorry. We got Todd on the line.
Todd Gack. Hello, Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Hey, Toddy. Hot Toddy.
Toddster.
The Todder. Welcome back, Todder. Todd.
Hello.
Hey, man, what's going on? Yeah. What's happening?
Oh, I'm just driving to work.
Love it. Hey, have you qualified before? First time?
First time.
Sweet. So we make the draw November 29th. If you do win the trip to LA, who would you bring?
Probably the wife.
Okay. Yeah. Good answer. And what event are you looking forward to? Yeah. What event are you looking forward to the most there, Todd? The basketball, the football, the hockey?
Probably the basketball. That arena looks sick, so that'll be fun to check out.
The into it.
Getting into it.
Yeah. Todd's going to get into it with his wife.
The Indo, as you would.
Yeah. I like your style, Todd. You seem like a real fun guy. Good luck in the contest. Once again, you can qualify as many times as you can there, and maybe we'll be calling you November 29th.
I can't wait.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
I like that Todd guy. He's pretty neat.
I like that Todd.
He's got some good energy. I like it. Yeah. So, I know if it was Todd Gack. I only asked. I know this whole Seinfeld joke, but somebody does text in as Todd Gack, so I thought it was maybe that same Todd with the handle. But congrats, Todd. He is the latest qualifier. Your next chance, 9 to 11, on the Hangout with Matt Iwanek later on this morning.
Is he the bad breaker upper? I can't remember.
You're Gack, right? Kramer gives him all the coin. He pays him in that, and then he hits him in the chest. Yeah, you Gack. Bang. What is it, Dutch? Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Gack. What is that, Dutch? Yeah, I got to watch that one again. Yeah, I'm kind of... They all kind of combine into one, right? The close talker, they're all kind of... Yeah. Are you Gack? It's hanging out with your folks. I bought him a Coke.
Schindler's List, making out in the back of Schindler's List. Yeah.
Hey, Trev, do we need to attach your name when we text in for the contest? No, you don't. No, you just got to text in the word. That's all. No sort of like bribery or, hey, Trev, I love you. All that stuff. No, we don't do that.
If you text in your name, we'll assume that that's another word that you're guessing.
Just the word. That's it. That's all you need. 780-218-9999. Macramalla intros as well. Get him in if you want that A&W text of the day. Is he still? He's not cooking yet. It's okay. Let's get to the fan zone right now for fans first. The fan zone for fans first.ca. Buy fans for fans, no fees. Get your Oilers tickets all season long at fansfirst.ca. And getting into the fan zone as well, we might you'll be with me Friday morning. Did get a text yesterday from one Jerry Hiraxi from the Spirit of Edmonton. He's in Vegas before the Grey Cup. He's flying from Vegas to Vancouver, I do believe, today, and running the whole Spirit of Edmonton.
What a maniac!
Well, he is a maniac.
What a maniac!
God bless him for it. He keeps me liquefied and lots of other fides at the tailgate throughout the season. As of course you'll know, EST tent is set up right across from the Spirit of Edmonton at the Elks tailgate all summer and fall long. But Jerry, bless him, I think I'll reach out. I think we'll get him on at least for 5 minutes Friday and see what the vibe is there. Because
he's a party diesel engine, right? He needs to warm up in Vegas before he puts the pedal down.
The guy's nonstop, and he's almost got like a Todd energy as well with him too, where he's always kind of smiling, always never hungover. Like he'll say he is feeling it, but he'll have the smile on his face and just keep going like an Energizer bunny.
Holy cow!
We'll get his thoughts Friday morning. I'm sure Thursday night will be that's Grey Cup week. It's not the whole week, but Wednesday people start to kind of flood in. It's just like, and then Thursday you're like, well, we might as well get into it now.
Yeah.
Into it. And then Friday you're kind of whatever, but it's the weekend now. So we'll get Jerry's thoughts on the whole Spirit of Edmonton vibe Friday morning. But Fan Zone, it's kind of killing me
Fan Zone.
Whenever Grey Cup is happening, I do, and being at a few now, both here in Calgary, Regina, that type of thing. Maybe you could argue not as good on the coastal cities, the bougie cities, Toronto, Vancouver. They have so many other better things going on, but a Grey Cup party is a Grey Cup party.
Yeah, I think Vancouver does a nice job. The
pavilions will be there.
I think especially because it's a downtown stadium, I think it does make actually for a really nice set. I've never had a problem with a Grey Cup in Vancouver. Sometimes the Toronto Grey Cups have been dead. That's for sure. But no, I think you keep it out west. I do think that throwing it to Saskatchewan or Winnipeg and obviously Calgary coming up here, those are just can't miss parties.
Yeah.
But there is also something to be said for the comfort that Vancouver gives.
It's different, and that's good too. It's nice to have a bit of a change up with that. And you're right, people can kind of come all over for the Prairie Triad or foursome there in terms of Grey Cups. You can fly in from all different parts of the country. This you're going, way to the coast, but it should be. Canucks are at home to the Islanders tomorrow. They host the Blackhawks Saturday night and the Predators Sunday night. Lots of stuff going on downtown Vancouver.
It's going to be fantastic.
And again, the pavilions will be set up. I'm kind of anxious to see how they're all set up and everything. It's my story in Calgary. I would sneak through the Lions Den to get into some of the other paid-for pavilions because they shared a communal bathroom. Yeah. It's a classic CFL story, which I just love taking part in. Security kind of got on me later on, but that's okay too.
They'll figure you out. Hey, long hair. Hey,
it
hippie.
Don't matter. Yeah, your windshield's cracked. Vagabond. Nothing yet. Hey, he's still got the question mark?
We just had him, and then he left.
He saw me.
I'm assuming
He saw my nipples.
That might have been what it was.
Got a little hot. Had to run to the bathroom.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm assuming he'll be back.
Do we have any tape in here? I'll tape him down for him.
Do it while you're speaking with him, I think. Well, now you're getting excited too. I can.
See, this is the problem.
That is the problem.
This is just we're all uncomfortable now.
Just cross your arms for the hit.
Yeah.
Remember, ask him the Manitoba thing too.
Yeah.
When we get him.
Well, you ask him.
Well, I don't want to ask him.
I'm afraid to.
He likes you.
He'll
he doesn't
be upset.
Like me.
The shame of going to the University of Manitoba.
Legal analyst Eric Macramalla for Park Mazda on the way. But that was Fans First. Just wanted to get in there. If you are heading to Grey Cup, I know Dean Belanger, who was in on the Hangout, resident Bomber fan, he's off there. And probably a few others of you. But speak up. Let us know how it is. Check in with us. Let us know how it's going. Get that sluice juice in you. Eat some good breakfasts. But ain't no party like a Grey Cup party. And that's the Fan Zone, brought to you by fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees. Get your Oilers tickets all season long. There he is.
Now I've got to cover up.
Let's bring him in. Waste no time here. Eric Macramalla, legal analyst. We do have a few intros rolling in, but I'll get to those. Why are your arms crossed there, Will? Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen again.
He rightfully pointed out that my nipples were showing far too much last week, and now I'm self-conscious. Okay?
Yeah, as we bring in Eric Macramalla. Now he's gone dark again.
He's gone again.
It's those nip again.
I told you it's upsetting.
What is going on here?
Yeah,
we had him in the bullpen.
Yeah, he was warming up.
He's toying with you.
Yeah, that's that's going to help the nipple situation.
I know you're getting more
teasing. The teasing does not help.
He's just flicking him. I wanted to get to that.
Stop it.
I should have taken that Manitoba text down here. What was it? The faculty of something or other?
Faculty of law. Yeah.
Faculty of law. Okay.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have been. He would have been not teaching it. He would have been going there as a...
I think he probably would have been getting his undergrad.
Is that what it is? Undergrad, okay. I was going to say master's. That's not a...
No.
Because he was in Ottawa. He's in Ottawa GG? Is that...
Well, he's taught at the University of Ottawa. I don't know.
I wonder what his actual, like who he lays claim to in terms of the...
Well, we know he's Esquire, but what are his other distinguishing criteria?
Yeah.
And when he has to sign his professional, like how many letters follow that?
He texts me on my personal phone.
Oh, good.
Sorry, connection issues, very choppy. My end at work, I think.
It's the nipples. I told you.
I did notice his internet was red, which means it's not good.
Yeah. Seriously, can you find some tape there? Do we have any?
I can look for some. I might have some tape.
Do you have his phone number? Maybe we can get him on the phone. Is that possible?
Well, yeah, I'll have to give him a call then.
You get him on the phone and get some tape. Are you bleeding?
I'm not bleeding.
Oh.
Just trying to add just a little, some sort of.
Oh, this is going really nice. There.
I don't know if that's helping.
Hello.
I don't know if that's helping.
Yeah. For all you and iHeart and TuneIn, Will's now putting tissue under his shirt over top of the nipples.
Yeah.
This is you need those bra things, right? Is that what they're called? The paste? Yeah, the man's ear.
It's a bro.
Matt Hyman says he went to McGill and U of M, didn't he? Was it at McGill?
Oh my God.
Could be. I just didn't want to get too ahead of myself here.
Well, maybe he got his master's of law at the University of Manitoba.
Yeah, don't tease Will's nips. They're sensitive enough. Box Pounder chimes in. He's defending you there.
There. Is that better, folks?
It's something.
This is good. Now when I need a Kleenex, I know exactly where to go.
Big Naples says technical nippiculties.
Yeah, there you go.
According to his Gowlings bio, LLB 1999. I don't know what that... Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, true. Okay, this is the same. KC, thank you for texting in. That Manitoba thing is according to his Gallows bio, 1999, so that's okay. Faculty of Law. Yeah, okay, well... He couldn't lie on his Gowlings bio, could he?
Is it the internet? They're all lies on there.
He says tomorrow if you want.
Okay.
We can do tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll wait till the Wi-Fi improves.
You can take the Kleenex out now, I guess. Trev, if we could get the tape, I guess, if you can find some tape.
Yeah, now
I have lots of tape at home, obviously. Moving tape.
these
I was
things
just
can
moving.
go back.
Packing tape. Oh,
These things can go back to the big fat platters that they usually are. Just calm down.
I've got lots of duct tape.
get some packing tape. We won't really...
tape.
Okay? Ish, knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We'll give you a little wax, too, on the show.
All right.
Well, I mean, get your Macramalla intros in today and tomorrow, I guess. He'll be joining us. And it works out good. Thursday, we can kind of have him around that hot take zone.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll connect with him there and fill him in on
What
that.
a tease.
What a tease. Well, you're good. You're not going to be able to sleep tonight, are you?
What a tease.
You'll be laying face down your bed, kicking your feet in the air.
Exactly.
Hey? Yeah. Dream phone. Yeah, exact. That's the pose. That's the one.
Yeah.
Max Chipman says, you need to stop touching them, Will. Jesus. You're getting him hot here as well.
I know.
Nasty
Listen,
shit.
we're not helping anyone here.
Really not, yeah. It's tough to tame down when you get so excited, isn't it? Hey?
Tell you what, it's my cross.
780-218-9999 or in the Nasty Chat. Amishman19 says, off to tune in. Have a great day, Nasty. He's had enough of the viewing pleasure for today's show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We have changed 100, though. There's that.
Picked the wrong time to use YouTube.
Yeah, well, it's sometimes you walk into these things. It was, mind you, I will
Every
say.
6 months I check in, still full of perverts. I'm out.
Changing 100. Thank you, Trev. Getting back on the YouTube, and I had people coming up to me still saying that nose waxing bit was just great.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wondering how to try it out and everything.
Sure.
Trev, you missed it. We all waxed our nose hair.
When you say all.
Myself, himself,
And
Matthew Wannick.
Matty?
Took to it like a champ.
To which we thought he would be the...
I thought he'd be the stick in the mud towards it. But
Which was gonna be
first
okay,
of all,
too,
he
right?
was all in.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even need convincing.
No.
And then was immediately looking it up on Amazon where he could buy it for himself.
Damn. I've always wanted to try that. So where is that where you get it? Amazon?
If Dustin
convenience store?
Dustin ever comes back healthy, I think it's Korean actually is probably my bet. And I am guest hosting in Eric's spot, and it's us. I'll bring it back in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I did, because I saw your photo on Facebook, and I was like, what happened? What did I miss?
So did my wife.
Yeah,
which
just
one
a
she goes,
close-up.
Did you take the nose waxing stuff to work?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I did.
Should I not have?
And she goes, ew. I was like, yeah, but it was
so
good.
yeah, I tuned in to watch.
It was
and
fantastic.
It was good. I liked it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It felt at the moment it wasn't good, but later on again I went for a walk. It was all fine. It still feels.
I told you some post-nasal drip though from it. Like,
I didn't really get a lot of that.
Oh,
no,
see,
Maddie was getting a lot of that.
Yeah,
he said he didn't. He felt like he didn't get it up far enough.
Yeah. Well, you
But,
can always give it a second go.
Yeah, no,
Especially if you've never done it before. 2 goes is probably.
yeah, that was the
worthwhile.
initial walk.
Yeah.
You're a veteran in this.
Well, you saw how much I can take out now. Like,
You had
you got to get the right sort of give it the swirl when
It seems like one of those things where
start-
once you start, you can't stop because now you have to keep going. You have to maintain. You're chasing this high.
You will feel like when the hairs grow back, you will be like,
You'll feel it now. Yeah,
oh, man, I hate this feeling.
I flew too close to the sun.
That's right. Yeah.
Matt did it on the Trev cam. Yeah, no, Maddie was doing it. We were for the benefit of you viewing. We were far enough away. I know I took a zoomed in photograph. That was later, and I hid it in my Instagram or whatever. But Maddie was right on there. Like he was.
Yeah, he showed the crowd.
He was not shy.
Yeah.
Unlike you with your nipples.
I apologize. I didn't want to do this to you on a Wednesday. I literally, when I put the red shirt on this morning, I was like, this is going to be a problem.
It's like wearing gray in the hangout. You don't want to wear a gray shirt while you're in the hangout.
Yeah.
Those lights are too hot.
Yeah.
You'll be sweet. That back will be soaking wet. 780-218-9999. If you want to play kind of easy trivia, that's coming up next for Mr. Mike. So might as well get your texts in now.
Oh, crap.
Well, you got a few down there. You only need 3 out of 5, and you've got 1, 2.
I've got 3
Okay.
questions.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
You need to go perfect today for kind of easy trivia. 3 out of 5 will get you a GC to Mr. Mike's. So text in right now. I want to play 780-218-9999. 3 questions, too many on the way as well. That hurts for James H. Brown Injury Lawyers. ESPN's Greg Wyshynski will be by for Oilers, Islanders, plus anything else around the NHL. If you have any questions for him as well, get them in. That's all ahead of the wrap for William Huff. Dustin Nielson, once again, a quick update. Still sick. He's getting some x-rays done. He basically can't sleep due to some of the side effects of his sickness. So that's pretty much it. We expect him to be back and recovered, but we're taking it week to week. And Matt, I want to place him on retroactive LTIR from yesterday as well. So continue to light a candle, say a little prayer. We will take donations, I guess. Why not? I mean, we should be able to kind of use that to text donations in for Dusty and his health. Why? We'll take the money. We'll make sure it gets to him and where it needs to go. But if you want to play once again, 780-218-9999. Third hour of the show, Nielson Show coming up next. iHeart, TuneIn Radio apps, and on YouTube. Once again, hit that like, hit that sub, and we will be back after a sports update for Claiborne Services. YouTube Trev's got everything cooking in the sports world. It's Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
The Oilers win 4-3 in overtime last night over the Islanders. Connor McDavid with a 4-point night is now just one shy of 1,000 on his career. Leon Draisaitl also had 2 goals, including the overtime winner. The Oilers will now host the Predators tomorrow night. Elsewhere last night, Canucks 3-1 over the Flames. Jets double up the Rangers 6-3, making Winnipeg the fastest club in league history to reach 15 wins. Senators shut out the Leafs 3-0. Columbus have dropped 6 straight following a 5-2 loss to the Kraken. And off the ice yesterday, the Capitals acquired Lars Eller from Pittsburgh for a pair of picks. Tonight in the NHL, just 5 games. In the WHL, Oil Kings host the Medicine Hat Tigers tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7. Oil Kings are 8-7-1-1 on the season. Over to the BCHL, the Sherwood Park Crusaders host the Salmon Arm Silverbacks in one game tonight. The lone game tonight, that is. And in the association, group stage action from the NBA Cup got underway last night with 8 games. Raptors fall to the Bucks 99-85. Suns stopped the Jazz 121-12. Klay Thompson had 22 points on his return to San Fran as the Warriors topped the Mavericks 120-117. Regular season action back tonight with 11 games that dot the schedule. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They're hiring all positions, including journeymen, bricklayers, and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind, knowing they're an industry leader in safety. Visit www.clayburnservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tuffy and Eric and all of the bad cats like Wyshynski and Noodles. Captain can gauge it. Maybe slip up at a cool bed to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kids away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramalla, Rapapo, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about a given person, does he go for? What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
8:02. What say you? Nielson Show continues on, the third and final hour here upon us. The iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and if you are watching on YouTube, I love that zoomed out shot.
The zoomed out?
Don't you? Like the fisheye lens?
Yeah. Sure.
It's a kink of mine. I really love it. No, but I just...
One of many.
I know. Plus that song, which we're just enjoying here while you're in co-hosting. The whole picture painted.
Yeah.
So it's Joaquin Gage, Jason Milne, Hernan Salas, and who would be the fourth in this?
Who would be the fourth?
Maybe we'll leave that to you as the listener. But Will's got it kind of in this barbershop type of New Kids on the Block. You know, they all got jackets on and they're all in the recording studio and they just ride Hernan like he's always out of key or out of tune.
Yeah. Well, he's the one on the cowbell.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's late.
Yeah.
He's not on the beat.
And they just ride him for it, eh?
They are stopping the song mid-song and just laying into it.
But they play free shows like school gymnasiums for like, K-Day, elementary schools and all that type of thing. But
Westmount Mall. Yeah. They're not good enough for West Ed. But
Talk a little religion with you if you want. Maybe afterwards.
Southgate, they'll be at Southgate.
They'll give you a pamphlet. Yeah. Oh, God, I love that. Of all the things that. Oh, boy.
It's the bomber jackets that you can see.
It is the bomber jacket. Yeah. And then again, the posing, the back-to-back posing with the crossed arms. Yeah. God, I need this to become a reality. Yeah. Next Halloween, that's what they got to go as. Yeah. And just have that playing on a loop. That's another kink. You're right. Yeah.
You're a real sicko.
Fisheye lens, that playing the whole show. I'm in heaven.
Yeah. Sure.
We're going to do kind of easy trivia. I got to reset here. This is like when you're talking islands. I am just, I kind of go off the beaten path there.
That's true.
Okay, Mr. Mike's, we're playing for $25. Two Mr. Mike's right now for kind of easy trivia. We'll have 3 questions too many. That hurts for James H. Brown Injury Lawyers. Greg Wyshynski will be by, our final guest of the day at around 8:30 from ESPN, going around the NHL, and the wrap for William Huff, all still to come. And if you want that $20 to A&W text of the day, get it in 780-218-9999. Nielson Show presented by Southfort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. www.southfortchev.com. Trev, who's playing today?
AM Nasty. Vance Van Vander Van.
Vance Van Vander. The triple V.
I love it.
Vance Van Vander Van. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Yourself?
Can't complain. What's your record now on the kind of easy trivia?
I believe first time playing.
Oh, wow.
What?
Fantastic.
Amazing. Well, I think you know how the game goes, though. You need 3 out of 5 in order to capture the Mr. Mike's GC. We will start the ticker after I read the first questions supplied by Will today.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
We're all in this together.
How are your nipples doing there, Vance?
Oh,
Are they,
stop it.
Are you a little nervous? Are you
A little chafed.
a little chafed?
Yeah, a little raw.
We'll get you going here. Question number 1. Connor McDavid has 999 what?
Points.
He is set to become the 4th fastest player to 1,000 points. Name one of the top 3.
Gretzky.
Name one team playing in the Grey Cup.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
What city is this year's Grey Cup being played in?
Vancouver.
Has Dustin appeared on the show this month?
Well, no, that I'm not sure about.
You're going to Mr. Mike's, buddy.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
That's a paddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Oh, you better believe that's a paddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
That's a paddling.
The first year, we took it to the limit.
Take it to the limit. You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Vance Van Vandervan. TubeSuck says the triple V. Pinner's Pancake says quad Vs. Would it be triple or quad? Vance Van Vandervan. Like,
I mean, there is 4
there's
Vs.
4, but sometimes with that name,
I was going to say triple V, but then I was like, some people are going to be like, no, it's quad V.
Yeah.
But then you said triple V, and then that made me feel better about myself.
TubeSucks. Yeah, I mean, I think triple V
that's
sounds
the
better.
start. It starts. It's like, having a V in the middle of it, I don't think
It's like
that works.
SoFi. It's the capitalization in the
just like
lowercase,
SoFi.
right? It's
You're right.
exactly SoFi. It's a word.
It's the same. They're all words.
Yeah. Today's word on the hangout will be Van Vandervan, probably. Hey, yeah. He kind of the final question.
Final
threw
question
a bit of
is no.
It is no, and it should be obvious. Again, I'm going back to the World Series. Game 1 was October 25. Dusty missed the entire World Series. I don't know when he started missing the programs, but it was
that was then.
It was that day. Okay.
Yeah.
So October 25. We are. Yeah. It's
November 13th.
To quote Aaron Lewis, it's been a while.
True. Yeah. Of the top 3, we also would have accepted. He said Gretzky, obvious.
Yeah.
We would have accepted Mario Lemieux or Mike Bossy.
Bossy. That was
Bossy.
Mike
Yeah.
Bossy.
I should have said that.
You should have, but you didn't.
But you did.
And we'll all remember that you didn't. That's crazy. Like, now when you put that into perspective, that's crazy what McDavid is about to accomplish. That's like Gretzky and Lemieux from the mid 80s. Like, that's the least surprising stat that they're the 2 fastest. Then you throw Mike Bossy in there and you're like, oh, yeah, no, I guess Mike Bossy was red hot when he started his career. Like, he got shot out of a cannon. But like, you would have thought that like a Joe Sakic or
Yzerman,
Stevie
Yager.
Yzerman, Yager, like one of those guys would have
That's crazy.
like been in conversation for being as fast.
Conversation. Exactly. In
Connor
conversation.
McDavid, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and in a year when Ovechkin's doing what he's doing as
Right.
well, which is kind of you double stack that on, whatever your opinion on that is. But it's you don't know its history when you're living in it so much so as when you look back on it and say,
like
holy hell.
I would have thought somebody else from the 80s would have been in there.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Rip City Step says, I still remember the day Will said Mike Bossy wasn't a great goal scorer while I was stuck at a train a decade ago.
Wasn't a
Thoughts on that?
No. It was,
yes.
Is he the greatest goal
The greatest,
scorer?
yeah. You still remember that.
And I said, I don't think he is the greatest.
The greatest, yeah.
It's interesting what people hear, right?
Oh, I know.
When
you hear what you want to hear. Right?
When you, like, for example, I don't think Wayne Gretzky is the best hockey player I ever saw. I think he's the greatest.
Will hates Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, exactly. I think Mario Lemieux was a better hockey player. Mario Lemieux was 6'5".
Yeah.
Right? Like, just commanded the ice when he was out there. Now, Wayne Gretzky was the smartest hockey player to ever play. He's the greatest hockey player to ever play. But if you're telling me, give me one game at the height of their powers, who am I taking? It's Mario Lemieux.
Fair enough.
Mike Bossy. Like, one of the greatest goal scorers. But if you're telling me take one player at the height of his powers to score you a goal, there's actually a couple of guys that'll take in front of that, starting with Ovechkin.
Yeah. Vance Van Vandervan, Mr. Mike's. You can celebrate Fiesta Fusion. Celebrate today. Patatas Bravas, the Fusion Feast platter, chili lime ribeyes, and feature drinks. Plus $1 from every feature entree sold will help nourish a hungry child through a local breakfast program in the community. Join the Fiesta Fusion at your local Mr. Mike's today. 3 questions to Winnie now, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda.
Austin Matthews, better goal scorer than...
He's still your... What's the deal with old... you see him all every night on the commercials, but not on the ice, anymore? He's still...
Well, he's not Canadian.
He's got that UBI. He's not tough.
Yeah, he's not tough.
Yeah. Yeah, not good news for Maple Leafs right now with but he's got that commercial money going. He's looking good in those ads, eh?
Not really. No, he's
I
not.
know. He's
not classically handsome, as they would say.
Well, classic to which era, I guess, if you're talking about the Ron Jeremy style type of... Then he's got it going on, baby.
That's true. Yeah.
Got it going on. Park Mazda, once again, 3 questions too many.
He does look like Mark Wahlberg's best friend from Boogie Nights. You're right.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
That is
it depends what era you're residing in, but you could really get comfortable with that. Check out Park Mazda today, parkmazda.ca in Sherwood Park as well. Social medias. Will, I know you love to share your social media. Are you on Blue Sky yet?
I am on Blue Sky.
I love it. Where can we...
I couldn't tell you.
No, it's a dormant account.
Exactly.
You got it up there.
I signed up for one of their when they were still in their beta mode or whatever.
Okay.
And they were like, yes, please. And so I created a profile and immediately started hating it.
At Canada.
Yeah.
Like you just wanted to get that keyword or something, hey? Like that.
Right. Yeah.
So nothing else. No, you are on Instagram though. The account is still on there. If it's still up there.
I don't think that's me.
No, it's you. You populated it, but it's just not
pictures of you still. Isn't
Yes.
Okay. Well, then long live my Instagram account.
Yes. And I still add you on the tweets here when we do the show, so it's kind of funny. Yeah, nobody really knows. YouTube Trev, your chance to pump
you were
your
so
socials
handsome
here.
Back then.
It's time takes no prisoners. Hey.
Yeah, my television goes through old pictures.
That's what you're saying. Yeah,
and every now and then it'll throw up an Eric with
God.
When you had that high and tight haircut. So handsome.
Right. Hey,
so handsome.
Was this the Instagram page or was this the Twitter page?
Both.
Both, right?
He was my social media muse.
The Instagram, it's all just me.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen this. Yes,
I used to. This was before pictures of street teamers eating food. That was another big thing.
Yeah. You'd be doing the Super Bowl. Hey, come by, and I'd just show up and get totally.
I got onto social media at the very tail end of when it was fun, and it quickly became not fun. And I quickly hated using it.
Your old tweets, though, are something to behold. I scaled down the timeline of that since the beginning. You had a Darnell Nurse take when he signed the deal. This could go I think it was something. This could go a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
And it's funny how kind of that showed up.
Time will tell how this deal looks.
It's something like that, yeah. But Trevor, where can people follow you on the because you got a new place now and you're going to be detailing that.
Yeah, where can we follow you?
Yes. Yeah, follow me home. That'd be cool. Just joking. No, you can follow me at YouTube_Trev on Twitter. And you can also follow me. That's the exact same handle for Instagram. But follow Yeg Sports Talk on Twitter as well.
Have you and the girlfriend gone for a walk down into White Mud Creek yet?
Not yet, but...
Oh, my goodness.
I've been there for I guess I had all week.
It's literally like the best trail in all of Edmonton.
Moving from where you used to be, your life is going to change so much with that
I will say it's
Leave
nice.
Your house.
It's nice to be in a neighborhood. I will say it brings me back to home. It was a huge adjustment going from small town to downtown Edmonton. So the tallest buildings I've ever seen in my life.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
And then
go ahead.
Well, that's Stantec is the tallest building in Western Canada. Isn't that pretty cool?
Right.
It's taller than any building in Calgary. Isn't that interesting?
I
didn't know that.
I appreciate how honest you are in saying that it's the tallest building in Western Canada.
Yeah.
And having that mean something to you.
Yeah. You know what's also crazy? I was, as one does, I was bored on the toilet one day. So I was looking up, and this is when I first moved here.
I heard born on the toilet.
I did too.
Bored
on the toilet.
Bored.
One day I was born on the toilet.
Bored.
Okay,
let me finish.
This has got a Teddy story.
Bored on the
Don't
toilet.
like how this ends.
I was bored on the toilet, and I was thinking about how big the Stantec Tower is, but Did you know if that building was in New York, it would be tied for the 49th tallest building in all of New York.
This is what that's
Isn't
what I
that
mean by when
crazy?
you were like, it's the tallest building in Western Canada. Yeah, dude.
Oh, there's
in
way taller
Western
buildings.
Canada, there's not a lot.
No, there isn't. But isn't that insane? There's 49 buildings that are that size, or like way taller, and then that's the 49th tallest. So that's what you guys learned today. Make sure to use that.
There you go.
later.
Well, thanks for giving us that.
You're welcome.
And born on a toilet.
And he was born on it. He was reborn. He was born again on the toilet.
Born again.
That's a tough witness.
I still, if you know the Teddy's tale, right? Like that's another great downtown building. You've been to Teddy's? No. We got to get you to Teddy's.
Teddy's.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's
never been to Teddy's.
That's a how is this still a thing?
Well, but that's where all the Oilers. That's a place of lore, right?
Sure.
You're a veteran of the cityscape here and everything.
Tell me this, Trev. Do kids your age do you guys still dance? Like, is that a thing?
Clubbing.
Yeah,
that went out with the pandemic,
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like I know for our Christmas party, I was the only one that was on the dance floor.
Yeah,
and I know for my birthday party, I was dancing on the dance floor. I was also the only one on the dance floor.
Yeah, so
but I'm like the only one that dances that I know.
Kid was home for the weekend, and he went out with friends. And the next morning, I'm like, "So what'd you get up to?" He goes, "Well, I tried out that Elf Furniture Warehouse."
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, that's what he said. He was like, the food prices were great, and I was like, and so did you cut a rug? Did you hit the dance floor? He goes, it doesn't have a dance floor, and it broke my brain to think that like one of the most popular night spots doesn't like that. Yeah, what are you supposed to do when the rhythm gets you? As Gloria Estefan used to say.
No, you boogie in the chair, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah. You just move your shoulders.
You can dance at Teddy's too, I think, still, if you want.
Sure
you can do whatever you want there.
Yeah, there are no rules.
Oh, no. And great fries. I like ordering a plate of chips there. It's not bad.
Yeah. You are a shady fellow.
Trev, we're going to Teddy's one of these days. It's going to be a great afternoon. We'll
let's do it.
We'll go in when the sun's up and leave when the sun's down.
Perfect.
That's the perfect Teddy's night and afternoon.
The 3 in the afternoon. Roll in at 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah. And not in the winter. Not like I'm talking like summer when the sun's still high in the sky, that type of thing. Question 1 for 3 questions too many. The Blue Jays, are set to meet with Juan Soto this week down in California.
Yeah.
A percentile chance that he's wearing Blue Jay garb to start next season.
5. I will give it a 5%.
Give it 5,
chance.
you generous bugger.
I will give it 5% that, especially with the new sort of ownership structure that's being put in place, they just throw so much money at him that he can't say no.
Yeah.
So I give it a 5% chance.
Yeah.
I do think that they are once again just a pacing horse.
They're being used, right? Like this is a whole.
There's a reason that who's the big agent? Anyways, he recently popped off that he loves what the Jays are doing, and of course, Jays fans were immediately like, "Oh, we're in his good books," and it's like, no, he loves the fact that Toronto can be used as a pacing horse for every top name free agent these days to get them a better deal with their team of choice.
Well, and it's so Toronto when you see somebody from the States, from any sort of, industry or something, where they say, hey, how about those Blue Jays? Oh, they're talking about us.
Yeah.
They're talking. Yeah. And it gets the expectation up and everybody thinks it's like the old high school thing. I'm in the in crowd.
I wish Toronto realized what Toronto was.
Yes, but they don't and they never will.
But they have such a small town mindset to themselves that they don't realize that they are the 4th largest media market in North America. 4th.
Sure.
And so
you shouldn't always take these things as such a
they should be flexing their muscles, and instead they treat themselves like they're Cleveland, where it's kind of like, wow, it's a good thing they're talking about us.
But in the eyes of Americans, they are. Like, you mentioned the media market, like the market suggests, but it's
in the eyes of Americans who don't travel. They are.
Fair enough.
Which is called Americans, right? I mean, that's a true. But in regards to corporate America and Toronto
numbers wise, sure, yeah.
Toronto is a place where money is made.
It's a big American city.
Yes, it is a international city. Like it is a city that has and deserves the eyes that it gets upon it. And for whatever reason, that baseball team walks around like they're a mid-market team, and they are not. They are a major market and should be They should be competing for the Sotos. They should be overspending to get them.
Jeff Pass and the Jays have the first meeting this week. So going first, I don't know if that's good or bad in these situations. Like, by the end of the week, you'll be forgot. Like, it's just kind of, we're first.
Like their meeting should just be
a table for how many? 8, right? The reservation, the Kikuchi sushi reservation.
Yeah, exactly.
The Red Sox next, Mets, then the Yankees.
Like the only thing they should be saying in their meeting is, how much do you want? And come back to us with whatever offer is better than that, and we'll beat it by 10%.
Hashtag Soto Jet. You should look up when you're on Twitter again. Look up Otani Jet. We were following it that whole day, and then surprise, Arlene Dickinson came out, or whoever the dragon was, right?
One of them.
One of them, yeah. So I look forward to that. Trev, what do you think of percentile chance that he's a J? I mean, just pull out a hat.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Above, below 5? Like,
yeah, like I'm right.
You hold out hope.
I'm lowball. Yeah. There's no. I doubt it. Yeah. No one wants to come to Canada, man. It's too bad, but that would sure be cool.
I disagree with you that no one wants to come to Canada. Oh. There's plenty of no one cares about the Canada. Like when you make that kind of money, no one cares about where it actually is. What they want is to go to a place that looks like they give a crap. And that's the problem with the Jays, is that you're a Juan Soto and you go, okay, so you're going to pay me this, how much? What's your plan?
But this is ownership and management, not like a city believing in itself or anything like that. Yeah.
Like this is way like, for example, I'm a Chicago Bears fan in the NFL, and the Chicago Bears should be attracting every big name free agent. Like they should be in the running.
Hell of a franchise.
But they are so poorly run.
Yeah.
And their owner is so cheap that guys stay away from it. And that includes coaching staffs. Like no one wants to be employed by them. And unfortunately, that's what has gone on with the Toronto Blue Jays, is they can't seem to shoot straight.
So less than 5. Yeah. You're going less than 5.
Than 5, maybe.
Will with the generous 5.
4.7.
Oh, wow. He's Price is writing me. Closest to
without going over. Yeah. $1.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Your favorite NBA Cup court? I know this is a visual for those of you listening on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps. And
you are probably a sicko for asking me this.
Look, Jason Milne hates them. Like he does not like them at all.
Yeah.
And we came to the conclusion today that they're not painted on, right?
Yeah.
Like they're separate.
I'll go
boards.
with the Intuit.
You're going to go the Intuit, eh? Where are we going here? Let's zoom in here. The Intuit Dome.
Yeah. Only because you're making me choose, and so I'll choose that.
Well, come on here.
Listen, that's about as much time anyone should spend on a question like that.
They're neat. Here we go. Here's the Intuit with their new logo as well. Hey, with that ship. They got a ship on their logo now. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
It's got a red border with a blue inner, and it says Clippers in the background.
Yeah.
Now, the Lakers, they have the cityscape.
When I think of L.A., I think of sailing.
Well, the Lakers, though, they have the cityscape. See, this background silhouette, you probably haven't seen that.
Wow.
I'm just saying, there's lots of... And they got their championship stars at the bottom, which I don't think they should have because this is an NBA Cup. They should just have one for the in-season tournament, right?
Right, which they are defending champions, are they not?
Yes, but I was wondering, too, they have a banner for that. Do they have another banner, inaugural NBA Cup champions? Because it's not the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
They've already won the in-season
tournament. In fact, shouldn't it just be called the Laker Cup at this point?
Whew, that's a lot here.
That's a Matty hot take. That's a Matthew Iwanek hot take.
The Timberwolves, now they all look the same. They got the logo, you've got the colors, but in the background, it's got a little something else. The Timberwolves have a forest scape, which looks pretty sharp, I would think. The New York Knicks have, Trev, the buildings, right? Like the tall.
That's some nice architecture right there.
You almost word for word sounded like Mr. Burns complimenting Homer's power plant.
These racing stripes, which I think are pretty sharp. Does one stick out? Will doesn't want to play this game, Trev. I know you.
Yeah, no, I like these. I like these.
They're pretty neat. They're all little something there.
I like the Raptors a lot. That looks pretty sweet.
Classic purple. Hey, that purple
it looks so nice. Yep. I don't mind the Lakers. I like they as well
Another
have that
cityscape.
Yeah, yep. that looks good. The Celtics green is my favorite color, so that one looks really cool.
Does that mean you're a Celtics fan if green is your favorite color?
No. And then the Hornets. I think that's also, those are nice complementary colors right there.
Rip City Step, I know he's listening, but the Trailblazers have a real nice one. It says City of Roses at the bottom, and then the whole court's got dark rose kind of petals or rose heads in the background, so that's kind of neat. You're Chicago Bulls. I would have thought you'd have Bulls with a bullet, Will. You're a Chicago guy.
Sure, man.
Dyed in the wool. It's a Bulls logo with a larger Bulls logo behind it, so they didn't really think too much there.
Speaking of successful Chicago franchises.
Yeah. And it says C Red at the bottom.
A red court just looks terrible on TV, though. I
Of
like
all
the red.
the orange is pretty bright for the Knicks,
burn out
but
the,
it looks weird.
Like I like that
one I
cool
don't like.
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah,
that
that
cool
one's-
blue.
that's
very
real nice.
easy viewing. The Hive
Yeah.
is alive. It says.
Correct.
Ashton Acker Power says, I like the Bulls in the nasty chat.
Yeah.
Trailblazers court is the best one. Obviously, Rip City Step says that. So, yeah, I mean, look, have your say. I know
I think it's
you refuse.
I think it's the Division II St. Cloud State football team.
Okay.
That their head coach has used color theory as a way to like maintain their dominant record. And so he very famously paints all the visiting dressing rooms and stuff like that in a very specific pink, and in this is not some sort of like to feminize them.
Yeah.
But that like psychologically pink is a very calming color.
Yeah. There's a few locker rooms in lower division soccer in Britain where they'll have the visitors room and it'll be hues of yellow, dark green, like colors that kind of suggest and upset your, the psyche.
Yeah.
It'll be like an upsetting tone to the room.
That's right. So I'm curious if any teams put any thought into that. Like, what color gives us the advantage?
Get your advantages either way, right? Question number 3, the final one. It is World Pneumonia Day.
Appropriate. Dustin's not here.
Look, somebody is accusing him of being deceased in the nasty chat. I just want to lay claim, Nash Asborn. I know you're kind of kidding, but he's not. And he will be back. He'll bounce back. He's getting X-rays. He's got a cough and keeps him up at night. That's pretty much it.
I promise, and you can take this promise to the bank.
Wow.
If Dustin was dead, we would be Weekend at Bernie, that guy.
We would use it. We would use it
right now, and we would be manipulating him. Yeah,
a lot of that.
Yeah. Trev would be above him with a marionette, sort of like, Until the smell got so bad, we would have that corpse.
Yeah, the spa's complaining downstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd have to, it's all that. HR Daddy would get involved. Not a beautiful thing.
We're doing the show with the Vicks underneath the nose. Like,
pass more. We're literally passing the bottle during the show and just applying as is. World Pneumonia Day, though, we wish Dusty well, but also it's national.
So that's a complicated way of saying he's not dead, because if he was, we would be using his corpse just for the entertainment.
National French Dip Day. Are you a French dip fan?
Like a shaved beef sort of.
You got her, because I think a lot of people rest either one way on this or the other.
Yeah, no, it's delicious.
It's delicious. Okay, Trev, are you a beef dip guy? Do you like the beef dip? Because it's got to be prepared.
So the flaw that happens in North America is that you use just any sort of bun. And so that's the problem, is that these mass-produced breads aren't actually bread.
You can't use a hot dog bun.
Yeah, they aren't actually bread, because as soon as they get wet, they just disintegrate, and that's the problem. Whereas if you're using like a real well-baked,
and the beef's got to be cooked too, to a certain like it can't be well done shoe,
right? Thinly sliced.
It's not something I'm always like, it's every now and then for me,
because you've been cooking now.
Yes.
Have you ever whipped up a beef dip?
No, I actually haven't. I've always, which is probably
beef
something
dip
that
starts with the bread, though. You got it.
Yes.
If you go down to the Italian, you will find the perfect bread for a beef dip.
I bet.
Yeah.
No.
Try your hand in one, just for purposes of the show. I
like that. I like that idea a lot.
Whip up an au jus.
It is so good. I love it. I've just never made it, but every now and then.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that.
It's Pneumonia Day. How appropriate.
World Pneumonia Day.
Yeah, well, I think he has the world's pneumonia.
Have you ever had pneumonia?
I have.
I haven't.
It is terrifying.
Have you, Trev? No.
It is straight up terrifying. It is. Because it starts as a ragged cough, and you're kind of like, oh, I guess I have a cough. And then it just gets worse and worse, and then your breathing starts. And as with most things, you don't realize the kind of trouble you're in until you're in the thick of it, and then it's kind of like, well, should I go to the hospital or will I die on the way there? No, it's pneumonia is terrifying.
And once you get it, isn't it more of a return visitor or something like that? Is that a rumor?
So I got it really early in my broadcasting career, and I was working a full-time job, and I was doing 5 hours of broadcasting in the knee. I was burning the candle at both ends, as they say.
Yeah.
And I got this ragged cough, and then it developed and got worse and worse, and I was still doing the shows. And I finally got to the weekend, and I remember waking my wife up and being like, I don't want to scare you, honey, because I was like 25. but could you just pay attention and make sure I keep breathing? Like, and I was not trying to be funny. It was literally
not a joking man.
It was a concern. And so then the next day I get into my doctor and he does the chest x-ray. Well, first of all, this was a doctor who was 5 years away from retirement. And you could just tell he was so over all the hypochondriacs he had to deal with.
Yeah.
That
finally somebody real.
Like, exactly. Like, he just had
rolls the sleeves up.
A real sort of defeated sort of body language to him anytime you came in. Especially when you came in complaining of like a chest cold. Like, you could just see he was just like, oh, great, a chest cold. Like, you need to see me. And I remember him putting the stethoscope on and then telling me to breathe twice. And his eyes lit up. Like, he finally had a reason to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so happy. And like, all of a sudden he's like, oh, you got to get this and you got to get this, and finally come in. And so I get all of it and he shows me the x-rays. And then like with a smile on his face, like a sicko, goes to me, he goes, yeah, really interesting fact. This is probably what's going to kill you. And I go, pardon me?
This is what he went to school. This is what he paid money to learn about.
I go, pardon me? He goes, oh, no. Like, this right now isn't going to kill you. But now that you've had it, there's a real good chance that you will get it again in your 70s or your 80s. Yeah. And this will be what finally kills you.
You were his Grey Cup.
I was exactly. I was like, this is the sickest thing I've ever, like, the smile on his face when he said it.
You'll never forget it.
Because he was so engaged and so happy to have a real illness in front of him.
We'll get to ESPN's Greg Wyshynski here. A couple of texts. Hot Cake Kev, I had it a couple weeks ago. It's the worst. Wet cough, really winded at times. # pneumonia. Brent Pisklewicz. Had it awful, a cough that you never get relief from until you get a puffer. Jeffy says, yeah, pneumonia sucks. I got such a bad fever, ended up in ER.
Yep.
And then Rob from the Grove says, a proper baguette is needed for a proper beef dip. So there you have it. That's 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. Sports update right now for YouTube, Trev. For Sit and Sleep, we'll be back with ESPN's Greg Wyshynski, and that hurts for James H. Brown injury lawyers ahead of the wrap. It's the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
The Oilers win 4-3 in overtime last night over the Islanders. Connor McDavid with a 4-point night is now just one shy of 1,000 on his career. Leon Draisaitl also had 2 goals, including the overtime winner. The Oilers will now host the Predators tomorrow night. Elsewhere last night, Canucks 3-1 over the Flames. Jets double up on the Rangers 6-3, making Winnipeg the fastest club in league history to reach 15 wins. Senators shut out the Leafs 3-0. Columbus have dropped 6 straight following a 5-2 loss to the Kraken. And off the ice yesterday, the Capitals acquire Lars Eller from the Pittsburgh Penguins for a pair of picks. Tonight in the NHL, just 5 games. In the WHL, Oil Kings host the Medicine Hat Tigers tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. Oil Kings are 8-7-1-1 on the season. Over to the BCHL, the Sherwood Park Crusaders host the Salmon Arm Silverbacks in the lone game tonight. And in the association group stage, action from the NBA Cup got underway last night with 8 games. Raptors fall to the Bucks 99-85. Suns top the Jazz 120-112. Klay Thompson had 22 points on his return to San Fran as the Warriors topped the Mavericks 120-117. Regular season action back tonight with 11 games that dot the schedule. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months interest-free and be entered to win your purchase up to $5,000 on furniture and home decor. Next to Planet Fitness in South Edmonton Common.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
All right, 8:34 on the Nielsen Show. Trucking along here in the third and final hour. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin the Nielsen.
Actually,
show.
I'm in for you.
Yes.
You're in for Dustin.
Yeah.
Of the musical chairs.
I know. It's just a little more word salady, I guess. YouTube Trev keeping it locked, keeping you up to date on everything in sports.
For him.
No, he's in for himself.
He's in for himself.
He's in it for himself.
Yeah. That's what we've always said about him. That guy's. in it for himself.
780-218-9999. Get your text flying in for the text of the day as well for A&W, $20 on the line. And I want to let you know as well, the Nielsen Show presented as always by Southport Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot out in Fort Saskatchewan. Check them out today, www.southfortchev.com. We are joined now by ESPN's Greg Wyshynski, and we appreciate his time as always. Greg, what's going on, man? Soto, where does he sign? He's meeting with the Blue Jays first. He'll then go down the line. Red Sox, Mets, Yankees. We were talking about percentile chances. He ends up as a J, very low on the scale. But where do you see Juan Soto eventually landing?
No, that's a real pump up the price meeting, I think, with the Blue Jays. He's probably going to stay with the Yankees, I imagine. And then the Mets will smartly turn their attention to other matters, including starting pitching, hopefully, because the Yankees will probably pay him, and he probably wants to overpay him and probably wants to be a Yankee. I want to go back to the medical discussion before the break.
Hey, love it.
There really is nothing creepier than when a doctor discovers what's wrong with you and gets super happy about it. Like I think I talked about it on the show last year. I had something called a frozen shoulder, which usually affects men like 20 years older than me. So take that as you will. But it literally is like when your joint freezes up and you can't move your arm like high. So like I could get it like this high and I couldn't like reach to the small of my back. And I didn't know what was happening to me. So I went to the doctor and I'm just like, hey, what do you think this is? They take the MRI, they do the x-rays, the whole thing. And then he goes, I know what it is. I'm like, oh, great. He's like, you got frozen shoulder syndrome. I'm like, that's fantastic. What do we do? He's like, nothing. We can't do anything. It has to fix on its own. I'm like, well, that's terrible. Like, I'm very happy that all of the time you've spent poring over your medical journals has allowed you to properly diagnose my malfunction, but we can't fix it. So I feel your pain on that. It's like the joy of discovery followed by the harsh truth of we're all going to die at some point.
Yeah, like you can tell that they're going to dine out on that diagnosis for a week, right? Like they'll be telling every friend they know, you're not going to believe what I just found.
Big fish.
Yeah.
Every medical conference is going to have a picture of me and my manatee-like body and my shoulder on some sort of a whiteboard.
Yeah. And they'll all be standing around and it'll be like, guess how old he was. And they'll keep guessing higher and he'll be like, nope, that's not it. With a bigger smile on his face.
His cherubic face tells us he's probably in his early 30s. They're like, no, sir, that's not true. But
I think Ryan Pollock is still on the ice from last night, Greg. Boy, was he gassed last night. Oilers taking an overtime over the Islanders. Your thoughts on that game before we move on to the larger NHL picture, I guess?
I'm glad you mentioned that. I tweeted a picture of that this morning. The line change the Oilers had about almost 2 minutes into the overtime, where the three Islanders are just standing there in their zone, completely gassed, watching Bouchard with the puck, and then like standing there while Connor and Leon hop over the boards. I've seen exhaustion in overtimes before. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where one team is literally spectating while a team makes a line
straight
change.
Line. It was a great shot.
And a line change from the closer bench too. I mean, it was insane at that point how exhausted the Islanders were after the Nugent Hopkins line tired them out. But I went back and watched it because I saw that the Oilers won in overtime. I was covering the Rangers Jets game last night at MSG, and I always make time for a Connor and Leon 3-on-3 goal, and that was a new one. Seeing the opposition just literally stand there and. It's kind of just like, opening your arms and having someone decapitate you in like a samurai movie. It just do as you please. We know what's coming.
Connor McDavid, 1 point away from 1,000, becoming the fourth fastest to ever reach that total. All we do is spill ink on the greatness of Connor McDavid, but even us this morning, looking at the other three names being Gretzky, Lemieux, and Mike Bossy, and realizing that you take away the high-flying 80s and what this guy is accomplishing in the modern era, it's tough to actually put it into perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think that you hit the nail on the head, which is that all of the players in the conversation with Connor insofar as point production had the 1980s inflator.
Yeah.
Whether it was style of play, whether it was the quality of goaltending, whether it was the number of teams in the league, all that stuff lack of travel to Seattle, like all that stuff adds up and certainly benefited those players. I've got a piece coming out tomorrow about current players and their Hall of Fame chances. And I made the argument last year when we did this exercise that Connor could retire tomorrow and be a Hall of Famer. I think that's pretty obvious. But I believe that with the Conn Smythe, with what he did last season, with everything that he is this season, when he's healthy, I kind of put him in that tier now with Ovechkin and Crosby, where if we didn't shut off the opportunity for players to jump the line and to not have to wait for the Hall of Fame, like, I think Connor's there. I got to be honest with you. Like, I think if Gretzky wasn't the last guy where they said, why delay the inevitable? We'll just put you in the Hall of Fame now. I think they'd give that honor to Crosby. I think once Ovi breaks the record, they'd give the honor to Ovi. And I think Connor is in that tier now of players where they're so good and they're so transformative, and the numbers are like things we've never seen, era adjusted, that you could just put them in the Hall of Fame without having to wait the perfunctory 3 years.
All those top players, when they were at the height, they always kind of had a peer, somebody else in the league that was in the same conversation as them. Does McDavid?
Yeah, he does, but it's not a forward. It's Makar.
Cale Makar.
Okay. Makar is the only guy in the conversation with McDavid insofar as these people. Yeah, these people are doing things statistically that we've not seen since in Makar's case since the 1970s.
Right.
Because the only guy in the conversation for the things that he could potentially do is Bobby Orr. Like Bobby Orr is the only defenseman in NHL history to lead the league in points after the first month of the season, which is what Makar did. He had a share of the lead in points. Orr did it twice. Both times he ended up leading the league in points as amongst all skaters. Now, I don't quite think Makar will do that because I think that there are other players, McDavid being one of them, that'll probably challenge for the Art Ross when it's all said and done. But those are the types of things that Makar is doing. I think he'll probably break 100 this year, which is something that we haven't seen since Carlson did it a couple of years ago. And it's, I think only about 9 guys in NHL history have done it. So when you talk about who are the peers that McDavid has that are doing McDavid things, it's not Leon, although it's close. It's not Matthews, and it's not McKinnon, and it's not any of these guys. It's Makar. Makar is the only other guy who's sort of rewriting the record book and redefining what a player can do in his position like McDavid has.
ESPN's Greg Wyshynski joining us. You did mention you were on the Jets-Rangers beat last night. I think you tweeted out, what was it? The Jets are a pretty good hockey team. You're not wrong there. We were talking earlier. It almost feels like
earning your paycheck on that one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you still had a few word count in there you could have used up, I guess. But, we were talking, though, the fastest to 15. It seems like they've beaten every enemy out there that they can in video game speak, aside from themselves at this point.
Yeah, that tweet was in reference to the New York Jets, who are probably a better hockey team than they are a football team at this point. But
well, you had that graphic, which we'll get to here in a minute.
Oh God, that was
that side by side was just hilarious. Yeah,
I got to tell you, like, it is such a joy to watch a team that's just clicking the way that Winnipeg is right now. I mean, the cohesion, the confidence. A lot of it does track back to having the best goalie in the world, no doubt. But it's also a confidence of knowing what you're doing in your own zone, knowing where your teammates are going to be, having the faith that if one line is malfunctioning, the other 3 will pick up the slack, and just really having that beautiful. Like, they had so many odd man rushes last night against the Rangers, and that's a byproduct of how good they are in their own zone. Maybe the Rangers cheating a little bit in order to try to get the Hellebuck, but also just like knowing where everybody's going to be on the ice for breakouts. I mean, they're really a joy to watch right now. You watch that team and you're like, okay, this is not a fluke. Like, they've earned 15 of 16 to start the season, which is what no other team in the NHL has done in its history.
What could you see maybe becoming a weakness, if any, down the line with this? You mentioned the lines. I mean, the goaltending speaks for itself, but what would be the chink in the armor, shall we say, for the Jets, if any, leading forward? Injury? I'm not enamored with their blue line. It's one of the reasons why I thought they might actually take a step back this year, although that prediction is kind of out the window in the first 16 games of the season. I'm not enamored with their blue line, but again, the thing about it is that when you have Connor Hellebuck, that's going to that's going to patch over a lot of holes in your defense. And you saw it last night. I mean, by no means was this a
stout defensive performance by the Winnipeg Jets. The Rangers got their chances, but Connor Hellebuyck allows you to know that you're probably not going to give up momentum at all or for that long when you have Connor back there making, the other Connor, the third Connor, making the plays, the fourth Connor if you include Kyle. Hellebuyck makes plays, and he makes a lot of saves, and you don't have to worry about necessarily having your defense fail you when you have the last line of defense like that.
Well, Greg, we appreciate your time, man. Enjoy both Jets, both the hockey version and the football, as that continues to play out. Are they still a playoff team, do you think, if they run the table, as some people say? I mean, come on, there's always...
The curse was lifted last week. I no longer have to really care or pay attention to anything. I could take a very nihilistic view of the season. The fact of the matter is that they couldn't beat a team they had to beat last week in Arizona, which is, a good football team, but by no means a team that you shouldn't be able to score against.
You're almost now the doctor with the diagnosis, in a sense. Like there's a certain glee to it, albeit depressingly.
Well, the glee to it is that now you can completely focus on the real nihilism, which is that the team has no future. They went all in for a 75-year-old quarterback who is completely baked, and they don't have anybody behind him to think about the future. And the defense stinks now when it was the only thing you can hang your hat on. So, as I've often told you guys, being a Jets fan is finding new and exciting ways to lose, and the new and exciting way this year was Aaron Rodgers turning into something that's sub. Zach Wilson, and then also betting your entire future on a busted season.
Yeah,
it's great being a Jets fan as always.
You should never trust a quarterback who throws more heat on podcasts than he does on football fields.
Yeah, he doesn't throw the ball downfield anymore, which, as anyone who's listened to Rogan should know, that he's not going to take his shots. So. It's been that kind of season.
Love you, Greg. Have a great week, man. We'll talk next week.
Take care, everybody.
Oh, yeah, that's
a good mic drop.
Yeah, no, it's great. And what are you gonna do? Laugh or cry? Right? He's taken the comedic road.
Sure. I can't imagine being a Jets, and I'm a Bears fan. I can't imagine.
Well, at least you're not on the hook for all that money. Even if you do get rid of him, like you're swamped. You're screwed.
Yeah.
And there's no, this guy's coming. Like, at least with you have a bit of something. Maybe something can happen here with
so my
Caleb Williams.
My Bears are chronically incompetent, but they're not unlikable.
Yeah, sure.
The Jets are unlikable and incompetent.
Yeah. And we'll get to the Jets right now. For that hurts very quickly for James H. Brown Injury Lawyers. When accidents happen, go to jameshbrown.com if you've been injured in an accident and you need lawyers. James H. Brown is the place to go. That hurts. I was mentioning that graphic that Wyshynski tweeted out last night. I do believe it was from the Panthers-Devils games, as somebody said. They were dunking on the Jets there. But Jets comparison this season between Winnipeg and New York, 14-1 to the 3-7 record. Scoring offense, Winnipeg first, New York 26th. Scoring defense, Winnipeg first, New York 10th. Playoff chance, Winnipeg 99.8. 9% for the Jets, which is better than you give the Jays landing Juan Soto.
That's right.
There's still a little hope there.
Yeah.
This New York Jets thing every week, all I keep hearing is, well, if they run the table.
Yeah. If.
I think even Maddie mentioned it yesterday. Like if they win a couple. Well, in the AFC. But let's just look here. If. Well, if who's to say?
What about them over the last several seasons thinks that they can run anything?
3-7. The wild card now. Chargers 6-3, Broncos 5-5, Ravens 7-3, Bengals 4-6, Colts 4-6. So a little work to do, but
it's also one of those things though where you have to look at the schedule.
Got the talent, yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's impossible for all of those teams to lose games because they're playing against other teams that need to lose games.
Well, and they will play the Colts.
So somebody has to win.
They will play the Colts. They will play the Dolphins, another team they're chasing. They will play the Bills and the Dolphins again. So fate's in their hands.
They control their own fate.
That hurts for James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, jameshbrown.com. Let's get into the wrap now for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours. Look at this logoing. The Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric. Beautiful stuff. We could get William Huff to come in here, rewrap the studio, and he still wouldn't be back. And then they do a quick turnaround. Don't get me wrong; it's not like it's a drawn out process with William Huff. They were quick. They get the dream team in here. It is done. But
at this point, if they had come in a month ago and rewrapped the studio, it would start to look dated.
Yeah, Bruce could come in here just himself, one-man job.
Yeah.
And work for maybe 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And it would be, you're right, it'd still be set up and then look dated.
Yeah.
They've been in business since 1952, so you know they're incredible what they do, WilliamHuff.com. What did we learn today? I mean, I learned that Trev, the born on a toilet line, but also the building line. He educated us that the Stantec Tower is the tallest
building in Western Canada.
In Western Canada.
And you didn't know that.
No, I knew that. I didn't know that he thought that was a big deal.
Okay.
That's so cool.
What you learned.
I love that.
I loved it. But guess what? My wife works in that building.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The tallest.
What, what floor?
60 something.
floor?
Holy crap.
She's up high. Oh, yeah. She gets an eagle eye view.
Holy.
She can probably see I can see Stantec Tower from my house out in Stony Plain.
She's seeing you. You guys.
Yeah. Yeah. What see you?
Have you guys ever been in a building that tall? What's the tallest building you've ever been in?
Good question.
Willis Tower in Chicago.
Big
How many
deal.
floors is that?
Well,
what floor were you on?
You go right to the top?
It was the tallest building in the world up until I want to say about 16 years ago, in the Burj Khalifa.
The Burj Khalifa, yes,
in Dubai. Took it, and now I think there's probably 6 or 7 buildings that are taller than it, but it's up there. It moves. I'm guessing here, but it moves around 3 meters of sway.
It's scary. I hate that. I don't like that.
So at the top of the Willis Tower, they've built in boxes that you can step out onto that are clear.
I don't like that. I hate that stuff.
Yeah.
That
I don't
whole,
like the swaying. I'd be okay with being in the building that tall, tower that tall, but the swaying would get me. I don't like that.
It's pretty imperceptible. You can't really feel it.
I don't know. LT, what about you? Tallest?
Well, I would say top of you take that cable car up that mountain at Jasper, right? And you get up to the top.
The tallest.
That's a building. It's a building up top of a mountain.
You know what?
Okay, you know what? I'll allow it.
And that even creeps me out. I couldn't. Let's go have a beer in the thing. I couldn't sit in there. I'm kind of And actually, when we went to the,
you Flatlanders,
I hate it. I don't like. It's not that I'm. Ooh, that scares me.
Yeah.
You just get that visual. What is it? The depth perception or whatever. And when you see too much, and that's why Trev mentioned the glass bottom. I can't do that glass bottom floors.
The vertigo.
The vertigo. Yeah.
You experience vertigo.
But when Dusty and I went to with Mandy there to Vegas, went to the Sphere. I mean, we were up top there. We were gripping the handles. We were white knuckling that whole thing. I almost pissed my pants.
Oh, you poor
I had to
little
keep
boys.
drinking so that I kind of just and we're kind of and we're going out. We're I thought if I fell, I was going to fall forever and just tumble down.
Yeah.
Which of course physics would suggest not. But that's
Trev,
kind of
would
the
you
feeling.
do the rappel off the CN Tower?
I know.
Where they let you go out in a harness and then you clip in and you can
do that.
Kind of do the hang over the edge.
I think I do that. Absolutely. I've always wanted to be on the CN Tower. That's my tallest tower is Calgary Tower. Nothing crazy there. It's pretty
Calgary
puny.
Tower. Isn't it the 5th tallest building in Calgary or something?
Yeah, it's not even that. Not even that.
Of course
It's
it was,
I don't think it's top 10 at all.
Would you skydive?
I've always wanted to skydive.
Yeah.
I would never pay money to do it.
Yeah, hopefully get it
You'd
for
like
free.
to do it your own homemade. Or
If I'm going to run the risk of death,
You
and I
wanna be-
understand it's relative. If I'm going to run the risk of, I don't want anyone at my funeral going, "Can you believe he shelled out $600?"
Yeah. What about jumping out of a plane? Parachuting.
Isn't that skydiving?
Did I say skydiving? I meant bungee jumping.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Sorry. Skydiving. You're right. My bad.
Yeah.
So you said skydiving, bungee jumping. Where are we at?
Yes,
bungee jumping? You do that
I'm
too.
game
Okay.
for all of it.
That's my bad.
I want to do that. I like the
All
rush.
that whole. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Because its heights is that's the thing. There's different types of heights and flavors. It's the perception, the glass bottom stuff. But then you'd be fine going in a plane, jumping out of it, and hot air balloon
Yeah.
up there in a wicker
that would be
basket
cool.
with fire. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that was good.
Fire a basket that doesn't.
Yeah. It feels like a bad mix.
It should be.
I've never. Those things scare. Watching them scares.
It's very
the hell out of me.
peaceful. It's a peaceful way to fly.
The peaceful way to die.
Yeah, that's true.
Text of the day for A&W. Once again, $1 small coffee, $2 latte.
Well, we
Participating
had a
AWs.
front runner in earlier. Are we sticking with it?
Jordan. The Oilers keep coughing up the lead. Who do they think they are? Dusty. It's timely. It's cute.
Yeah.
It's not too serious.
No.
Of course, Dustin, again, he's coughing, the coughing leads to him not sleeping, which leads to him not coming to work.
Yeah. It only rubs a little bit of salt in the wound.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
So again, whatever you need to do, leave a glass of milk out tonight for him. Maybe have chicken fingers. Maybe if you're wondering what to have today for supper, go to the Italian Center shop, pick up some chicken tenders or the chicken cutlets, and have a supper in Dustin's honor with the family. Dustin's strong. He is strong. Dusty strong. This is the Nielson Show. Edmonton Sports Talk. Lieutenant Eric, Will Fraser in. YouTube Trev as well. What are we watching tonight, gentlemen? What do you got on that? What do you got on the docket? NBA Cup takes a break. Regular season play.
Because I can only handle so much of that at once. You gotta pace it, right?
Well, you do.
You gotta pace that stuff.
What do we got cooking in the NHL tonight? I know Trev's been keeping us up to date.
There's some pretty decent matchups. I mean, Maple Leafs Capitals. The Ovechkin watch continues.
Yes, and Austin Matthews watch. Where is he?
Yeah, and then Kings Avalanche. I would say would probably be the best matchup of the evening.
Yeah, Vegas and Anaheim as well. Those two teams jostling for top spot in the Pacific right now. Carolina visiting Utah.
Darcy Kemper with another chance to remind the Avalanche of the terrible mistake they've made.
Yeah. Ain't that just it? Colorado, and we mentioned taking a look at the Central as well. They still are kind of a little bit of ground to make up, although getting out of the doldrums of the division in the conference. But they're nothing like the Nashville Predators, who will be in town tomorrow to take on the Oilers. We'll have a full set up for that. Macramalla will join us tomorrow as well. He couldn't today, so he'll be back tomorrow. We'll have Oilers Preds, all that good stuff. And Luke Gazdick will be back on the show. Of course, the old Thursday flip. Bruce Boudreau was in last week. And we get Gazzy Eyes, old Gazzy Eyes back for a Thursday edition of the Nielson Show. Nielson Show. Well, that was fun, boys. I guess that's all we have to do with the William Huff wrap today. What else is NHL? What is in the NBA picture though tonight? It is regular season play. There's got to be the full slate. Full slate. Oil Kings are in action too. You could get some local hockey action down at Ice District tonight. Yeah, Celtics, Nets, Pelicans, Thunder, Lakers at home to the Grizzlies, Suns and Kings. Raptors with the night off. They are back in action. Yeah,
Cavaliers 76ers is only interesting because 76ers are so bad right now, and Joel Embiid is finally back in the lineup. He lost last night in his season debut.
NBA Cup debut.
We'll see if the 76ers can... Do they have a season in front of them, or is this going to be a catastrophe?
I just want to watch the Cavs remain undefeated. I always like an undefeated story. I want to see how long they can go. It's a neat story from a neutral point. NBA Cup group stage action continues Friday, so we'll be setting that up as well. You can't wait for that. So for YouTube, Trev, Will Fraser, thanks again for filling in for me while I'm filling in for Dustin.
That's right.
On the Nielson Show.
The human centipede of internet.
It's
shows.
A prog rock album.
Yeah.
It's way too long. It goes places you never thought it would go. Yada yada yada, etc.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Human centipede.
That does it. Hangouts coming up next. Your next chance as well to qualify for the EST Flyweight to LA. Matty Iwanek might have a word or a company name. Or a nickname of somebody's last name coming up 9 to 11. Want to thank Jamie McLennan of TSN, not Eric Macramalla, ESPN's Greg Wyshynski, and our fine sponsors as well: Southford Chevrolet, Popeyes, Louisiana Kitchen. Of course, we're coming to you live from Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio, and Paris Jewelers A&W. YouTube Trev, Will Fraser. I'm Lieutenant Eric. Have a great day. We love you. All right, let's do it.